Hey everyone, welcome to Caged by the Page, the channel where we talk about books and some other fun bookish stuff along the lines. We have a few ideas in the pipeline. Hopefully, they come to fruition. I'm your host, David, and today I'm joined with Winona. Hi.
Hello?
Hi. And John.
Hello.
Yeah, we're missing a member. Hopefully, next video we'll have the I don't know what is it, quadruple threat or something. But
God.
until that time, today we're gonna review right before Halloween ends. Hopefully, this gets out. A book called Seven Sins by Miguel Estrada. It's a horror novel, so it kind of fits the theme of Halloween in the month. And it's basically supposed to give you some goosebumps, but does it? Does it? The book was released in October of 2020. It's gotten a lot of attention from readers and critics, so probably because it's been given out for free. Um, it's got a 3.94 on Goodreads with 1,147 reviews. We're gonna kind of dive into it. The book's basically about a group of people who are trapped in a terrifying game of trials by a mysterious hacker who has chosen them based on their sins. They have to face their worst nightmares and secrets and survive the night or pay the price. Sounds creepy, right? Well, stick around because we're going to tell you a little more about the book. But before we get into all of that happy stuff, please hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, turn on the notification bell. I forgot the last time about that, so you don't miss any of our videos. And now let's just kind of get into the review. This part of the review is going to be spoiler free. We're just going to give our overview of the book, impressions, and give you like a star rating, 1 out of 5, and then we'll get into the more spoiler heavy stuff inside the book. So off the bat, I just want to say there's a lot of it feels a lot like taking from Silence of the Lambs, Seven, Don't Breathe, the Saw franchise. That's really a lot of that crap is in this book. So yeah, how about Winona? Why don't you start? Like, how did you feel about the book? Was it giving you goosebumps? Was it giving you a thrill? It's kind of a thriller, I guess, horror thriller.
So I originally chose the book, so if you hated it, it's my fault. Um
Well,
but I thought it was going to be very like Saw-esque, like maybe all of these people had to like work together to get out of the situation, or which like is kind of sort of true, but we'll get into that later. It was, in my opinion, not very well written, not very it wasn't edited. It didn't look like it was proofread at all. There was a lot of grammatical errors in the book, which for the most part I can look over. Like, if the story was good, I would have, let those pieces go. But I think it needed more. And I wouldn't call it a horror or a thriller.
yeah,
I would just say it attempted some gore, it attempted some spooky moments, and
yes,
just never really delivered.
yeah. And a lot of it is based on the seven sins. That's why I brought up seven.
Yeah.
You got the lust. You got what was it? Lust.
Greed, gluttony, wrath, pride, sloth, lust, envy,
Envy, yeah. And there was one more
despair,
there was an extra one thrown in that I didn't even know about. Yeah, despair. So yeah. So John, how did you feel about the book?
Overall, I felt it was fine to read. It had its moments where it felt a bit intense, or there was a lot of drama that was occurring that made it more enticing to read, but at the same time, it just didn't feel as fleshed out as I thought it would have.
Hmm.
I do agree that it does have a lot of similarities, especially mainly with the Saw franchise. That's where I got the most of the I guess familiarity with for
Yeah.
this book because a lot of the actions that was taken and the plot just felt very similar. But the difference is, instead of it really being in a confined space, it was just out in the open.
Right. Yeah, so the book takes place mostly in a city. There's a little bit of the suburbs, and then I guess a couple of times in the sticks, outside of the city. But yeah,
It's more like desert area, from what I understand.
yeah, the desert, right? It was very non-specific, right? I guess the guy was trying to be non-specific on where this is supposed to be taking place. In my head, I guess I kind of pictured Nevada.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would say somewhere
Nevada,
in the West Coast. Yeah,
California, like that
Yeah,
range
but
there.
that's not like in the book. There's no mention of like location. Most of it I think happens in the same day, or right, or the
it
night.
happens within the course of like a week in total. That's what my
Yeah,
understanding is. I could be wrong, but that's what it seemed like, because there was like like moments in between, but it seems like it happens within like 3 to 4 days at most, maybe a week in total.
yeah, it ramps up, and so it definitely cuts itself short by the end of the book.
Yeah.
In terms of how long it takes between scenes and stuff, and it goes back and forth between the characters. So yeah, each one is a sin. You have Roger to start out the book. He's greed, and then the next one is Matthew, and he's gluttony. Trevor is wrath. Timothy is the sin of pride. Then you have Oliver, the sin of sloth. Then you have Jessica, the sin of lust. Ooh. And then you have a mysterious envy. Okay, and he's the hacker that kind of sets everything in motion. Basically through blackmail and stuff.
Mhm.
But we'll get into that in the spoiler section and stuff of how that all goes down. And each person kind of gets kind of intertwined, throughout the novel. It's not a long novel, by the way. It's like 230 pages, I believe, or something around that.
239. Sorry, excuse me. 239.
Yeah, 239, and so it's a very quick read. I think I crushed it in like 2 days. But like Winona said, there's a lot of like it's not well written. It's just a very easy read. you
Yeah, I
know.
read it last night, um, and I got all the way up to page 63, and then I passed out, and then I woke up, and then I finished it about what, 2.5? Oh no, a little longer than that, like 3 hours ago or so.
Yeah, I think it only took you like maybe 3 hours to finish total.
Yeah, but like I said, it was a relatively quick read. And again, like I did get into it
Okay.
because it is interesting. And again, with the comparison to like Saw and stuff like that, I was a bit enthralled. But like I said, the
Did
details we'll disclose the shortcomings.
Now, I will say, like with the Saw franchise, there's not much in terms of like doing the whole sinning thing. Like there's no like talk about pride and gluttony and all sloth. Like all these people in the Saw franchise are usually just bad people for all sorts of reasons.
Mhm.
And they're all combined. So that's kind of interesting. I guess that's why I picked up that there's like a little bit of Seven in here. Or well, I mean the whole idea, I guess, behind the killer and stuff of why he's targeting certain people is for their sins, but also they're kind of all connected together in a way, and that gets kind of unfolded throughout the book. Did you find the idea of the sins very intriguing? Like, why each person is what they are, or you
Well,
know,
without getting into spoilers,
yeah, without getting into like, did you like the idea of the sins?
You didn't have a lot of context when you first started it, right? I just kind of told you it was Saw-esque, and then
yeah,
so he kind of went in blind, and that's originally why I chose it, because I saw the description on Amazon, and I thought, well, like tying the Seven Sins into like the Saw franchise would be very interesting if it was
Right.
done well. And also I was looking for something creepy, like I wanted
Mhm.
something that was going to like give you some spook to it, and
Right.
there was no spook involved.
No, not a lot of spook. Like I think you said, he tried gore, like a little
Yeah.
bit of gore. Well, not a little bit of gore. I mean, there was quite a
it
bit of
was a
gore.
pretty decent amount of gore for
Yeah,
sure.
there was a good amount of gore. Now that I think about it, actually, but I feel like that overall, because of how poorly written it was and how quick the chapters went and kind of how not very I mean, he tried fleshing out some of the characters, I think more than others. I just didn't really connect with anybody that much. Like, I didn't really care, if anybody got axed,
That's
basically.
exactly how I felt. I felt that all of the characters were very unspecific. Like, I couldn't really tell you the difference between Timothy and Trevor
Yeah.
throughout most of the book.
Yes.
Like, I was aware of the fact that they were different people, but like, I had no reason to care about either of them or any of the characters, really.
Right. And I really feel like the whole idea of this sins, right, is that they're all of these people have, they're more than one sin, in a lot of it. So I don't know. I feel like with the way Seven did the sins, it was very specific on, like, when they were talking about those specific people that the Kevin Spacey's that were selected, and he literally enacted horrible things to those people because of their sins. This one is just really weird because he's just like kind of, he doesn't like them, and they have I guess specific tendencies, but they're not exactly what I would think of when it comes
Like,
to those sins.
like you mean like defined as
Like sloth?
exactly?
I was like,
Yeah.
so smokes some weed and he's a little lazy. That's it.
Yeah, and or I mean, gluttony or even lust.
What the? We'll get there. But what the hell?
Yeah. Or even lust. Like, I mean, I didn't really find her to, be. I don't know. I feel, again, it's just like I didn't feel like, I feel like Seven definitely nailed the sin aspect and kept it more mysterious and kind of like really homed in. Like, for example, the gluttony guy in Seven, he was like fed to death until he exploded because he was so fat. He was really, 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 really morbidly obese. Like, and he like exploded, Or even the lust one in that one, they were fucked to death. With a dildo that was made of like barbed wire or whatever it was, and that's memorable. That's like memorable stuff. In this, do you get memorable? I didn't get memorable.
I mean, for me, contrary to what you're both saying, I did have some connectivity with some of the characters, and that's only just because I'm able to kind of like emotionally attach myself a little easy with people. What I was able to connect with the most was the whole dynamic regarding Pride, Timothy, Lust, Jessica, and Sloth, Oliver, because of how their roles developed more and more compared to the other ones. Then obviously one does die, and then the other two are left to their vices, and that's where you start to see more of that get fleshed out and grow. And the the ending, like I said, we're not getting the spoilers just yet, but the ending itself is what kind of hit it home and it made it interesting for me. Again, I'm not gonna say, I was completely, entranced by the book and I loved every bit of it. But it had its golden moments, and the ending I felt was honestly adequate for everything that panned out, because everybody expects a happy ending. This one kind of did, but in the lowest form of a happy ending, if that makes any sense.
Okay, Winona, the face you're giving him is like, it's like, what are you talking about? All right, so what do you think?
Well, we're learning. We're only 2 episodes into this podcast, but what we're learning is John's the lover boy. He loves everything, and everything is going to be fine in John's opinion.
Okay,
not necessarily, but I give a fair chance. That's what it is. You may be opinionated, which is fine.
I think it's because you're not a big reader yet. If you get into reading more, you get a little bit more critical of books. And for you, you're like, yeah, it was a good time. That's it. End of story. Like What the Night Knows. We won't get into that, but him and I read that together.
I still like that book until the end. That was frustrating. It was literally, but that, again, different story, different book, different time.
Okay, okay. All right. So, I guess I'll start with my rating from 1 to 5 stars. Let's just give it a 2. I'm gonna give it a 2 from the jump. I think. I just think that the writing was plain. The characters were not super memorable. Like you were saying, like Timothy or Trevor. Which one? They're both with T. you know. But aside from that, I don't feel it was that creative. I'm gonna be honest with you. I figured out most of the book by 47% in. Like, I'm pretty sure that's where it was on my Kindle when I looked at it. When I was like,
there
well,
was one moment. There was one moment in the book where it stood out. I'm like, this is the person. But again, that's a different story.
yeah. So we'll get into that. So yeah, so I'm gonna say 2, and it's not that I hate the book like by any, like I would say, again, like 1 star is like terrible. Like I do honestly either hate the book or just feel like it was impossible to read. 2, I would say, is just like really below mediocre. Like it's if it was on TV or something, to watch, I probably wouldn't. You know, 3, mediocre. Okay, I'll watch it. I'll read it. I'll maybe I have like something I like about the characters that are memorable. That'll come with me. Although I will say there was one thing that I learned from this book that I am gonna remember. Okay, and then 4 is really good. Like I really enjoyed it, but it had some flaws. Like something didn't jive or stupid plot hole. You know, 5. I mean, you can't beat it. All right, so that's just how this scale is going to work for now, unless we decide to change it one day. I don't know. So, okay, Winona, what about you? How do you feel?
I'll be the resident hater here. It's a 1 star for me.
Ooh, ooh, and I got a little out of it. Like I got a little bit of fun out of it, but you fucking hated it. All right.
It was such a chore to read. I felt that I was just like trudging through every chapter. It was just like, I don't care about any of these characters. It wasn't well edited. And if you've watched more than 10 horror movies in your life, you've read this book already. Like it's not it is what it is. There was no real creativity. I won't get into the ending, but the ending didn't wrap it up for me. Like there
Okay.
was no there was no rhyme or reason for the things that happened in this book. And also the editing, oh, I I couldn't get past a few things. Like
Yeah.
they're in the back of a cab one time.
Well,
and
that's a well,
it's
that
not
wouldn't be a spoiler.
I'm not going to give any context.
Well, okay.
They're talking about a cab. It's spelled cap multiple times. There's there's there are sentences that make absolutely zero sense. And one of the characters' names is spelled differently multiple times. Like it's the same character, but it's spelled differently multiple times. I don't think that who ends up being the villain. I think we all knew it was coming, who the villain was.
Yeah.
But I feel like we just didn't get the context, the backstory, the fleshing out of why he is who he is, and like really what is his reason. Like we get like kind of like a summary almost, but it was just like, oh, I'm getting to the end of this book. All right, let me just write it.
Very Bond. Yeah, Bond like esque villain.
Bond
huh. Okay, so stars.
1 star for me.
1 star. Okay.
I can't give it any closer.
Okay, and listen, I just want to point this out, John. Totally okay if you give it 5 stars. You shouldn't, but totally okay. Because we need definitely a dissenting voice. We don't want to all just be echo chambering each other, so
yeah, because that's not how democracy works, right? But my rating, do we do halfsies?
Yeah.
We could do it. Yeah, sure.
Maybe like a blank 0.5.
Yeah.
Mine's a 3.5.
Okay.
Reason why I say it's a 3.5 is because, like I said, it has a lot of familiarities, things that I do enjoy when it comes down to the horror realm. A lot of descriptions when it comes down to gore, the intense moments, the killing. It's very interesting. Some of the character development is fine. It's not the greatest when it comes down to it being fully fleshed out, but it during the stories, I could see the connectivity for some of the ones that I mentioned already, and it gave me a little bit more in regards to being able to, you know, connect with the people and feel a certain type of emotion with people, especially understanding more the reasons as to why certain characters do what they did. That's what made it more interesting for me, and it kind of took me out of the whole monotony of like, oh well, this is just a poorly slapped together type of horror thing. Like, no, there is some meat to this. There is some things that make it more interesting. It's just that I feel that for it to be better, one, he had to run that book through Grammarly. Like, no shit.
Grammarly could have helped, yeah.
That-
The paid subscription,
not sponsored.
yeah, not sponsored. Maybe one day, who knows? Ooh, okay.
Not right now.
Not right now.
And
no.
secondly, more detail for backstory, character development would have helped them a lot, and that probably would have made it a longer book. But that longer book might have pushed this to maybe a 4-star or maybe higher if he had the creative ambition to do so. Now, I don't know who this author is personally. I saw some other books that were by him, and it seems like that's kind of his style. Short novels that are, again, I don't know, but it seems like short novels, and it might just be a quick read, just like this one was. But
Yeah.
I still liked it. It's still, I read them both in the dark for the most part, and I had a pretty decent time.
What are you doing in the dark reading these books? It's just okay. All right, sure. Okay, so I think at this point we'll just now go into the spoiler section. So if you don't want to be spoiled, please tune in next time. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Yay! All right, so chapter 1 basically is just an introduction to Roger. He's a thief. He's breaking into a house. He gets attacked, while he's making away with his loot, by a dog. And that's kind of it. Not really anything very special. It's just kind of giving us a little bit into the idea that he's greed, and he's a thief.
He likes precious things.
Yes. And then into the next chapter. Each chapter basically starts out, going through all the sins. So each way up to like 7, I guess. They're all the different people. Well, I guess Envy we don't really get too much about.
And despair.
Yeah. So after that, Matthew, he's the sin of gluttony. He's basically, a very neat freak, clean freak, but he cooks. He loves cooking. He loves what he's making. And he's got a nosy neighbor, Regina. She always is like, "Hey, man, what are you cooking? It smells so good in here." And ooh, big surprise.
It's cooking.
Yeah. Big surprise. He's the Hannibal Lecter type, and it's a body. He's got a body in the fridge, parts of a body. So he doesn't keep all the parts around him at all times. But yeah, Regina doesn't know anything. After that, it's Trevor, a sin of pride. No,
Trevor is wrath.
Trevor, sin of wrath, I should say. But this is what I'm talking about, right? It's like, and I even wrote it down, and I can't even get it right, even though I wrote it down. Basically, he's just at a bar. He was a marine, and it seems like he's going through a hard time. He's got like demons. He's got real demons. And he picks up a fight with a bartender. Big dude, or not bartender, but
it was a patron.
Yeah, patron. They get into a tussle. He kicks his ass very handily. Doesn't really take much. Next, after that is Timothy, the sin of pride. He's a big time CEO, rich. He's actually at the local hospital. St. Mary's is the hospital. Very something to remember. St. Mary's. And there's a whole TV crew and stuff, and he's basically doing a little speech. And he's hugging and kissing this like crippled boy. And the mother is like super just crying and thanking the man for donating the money and just being such a great hero, and he takes pride in that.
The crippled boy, the person, that's an aunt, if I remember. It was not a mother, because isn't that
No. That's
This is just from Timothy's
yeah,
press review.
Oh, okay, okay.
yeah.
There's a reason why I mentioned that, but that's something different. But yeah,
After that is the Sin of Sloth. His name is Oliver. Basically, he's just chilling, smoking a joint. And that's what Winona said. Is
dealing
that's
is
his.
dealing. Yep.
Yeah, he's just kind of a loser, a leech, I guess. But at the same time, I don't know. That kind of comes into question later in the book. In my opinion, is he a leech? Well, how do you see that? Okay, but anyway, we'll get to that. His aunt calls him and she's like, please, help out with Freddie, your cousin. I can't, he's crippled. uh, and I need you to come by, basically.
He's not ripping the set. He's just in a wheelchair.
Yeah, yeah, and Oliver's not really into it, but then everything gets kicked off and envy comes into the picture. Ooh.
You forgot lust.
No. Envy actually comes into the picture at this point, and it's not envy. It's just the letter N V. You
Yeah.
see?
No
Okay.
picture.
Yeah. And so basically, he sends a picture of his aunt's family, like they're at a dinner table. I guess they're making some food or whatever, and he's like, "Yo, I got a job for you, and if you don't do it, something bad's gonna happen to your family, buddy." That kind of thing.
Sayonara.
Sayonara. Yeah, that's basically what happens.
Mhm.
Now we get into lust. Her name's Jessica. She and Timothy, the Sin of Pride, are actually together. They're boinking. They're doing this. They're having fun.
Yep, and he is married, has a son and a daughter who he loves very much. But apparently, things aren't that great after what was it, 12 years of being together? If I
Yeah.
remember correctly.
Yeah, I think you just said his wife is boring or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally understandable.
Okay. Well, anyway, let's continue. So basically, yeah, Lust is a prostitute, but she actually is a smart prostitute. She's got a business degree. She's got investments.
Yeah, it's called a high class hussy with a degree.
Yeah, high class hussy with a degree. Sure. Let's go with that. But she enjoys sex. She enjoys,
Yeah.
fornicating,
Making people happy.
and that's quite okay. And personally, the whole idea that okay. Well, anyway, she basically she likes how Timothy is like taking care of that, well, not taking care of, but like donating money to the hospital. She saw him on TV doing that with the young cripple kid. But then she, after the fornication, heads off to the bathroom and she gets a text from Envy, and he basically threatens her, says that if you don't do what I want, I'm gonna let your pimp boyfriend know where you live, or ex-boyfriend, I should say.
Yeah, the
And
Korean one. What was his name? Steve?
Steven. Yeah, Steven. With a PH.
Yes.
I
EN.
was thinking that.
PH, no D. Got it.
Yeah. So Steven. And he seems like a really bad dude. Nobody wants to, she doesn't want to mess with that, so she's kind of like, fuck. All right, I'm in. Kind of thing. Then it goes back to Roger, agreed. He's with his mom, and she's in St. Mary's, the hospital that everybody seems to be circulating around. He's visiting her. She's very sick. And he doesn't have the money for the super expensive treatments that she would require. So at that moment, Envy sends him a message, and all of this is being done by text message. So far, there have been no phone calls. We haven't heard what Envy sounds like, or any of the characters haven't. And he's like, listen, man, I got a job that'll really pay you a lot. Here's 10K. I'm just gonna give you 10K. If you want, like, whatever the expenses for your mother's treatments are, just do it. Okay, and like, once you get 10K in your bank account, you're like, oh, maybe.
That changes everything.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, all right, sure. So then it goes back to Oliver and who's Sloth. And I guess he didn't need to come that moment to his aunt's house. He heads off to do Envy's assignment, and it's basically to meet up gang members that he kind of does business with because he's a drug dealer. But it's not really like super clear at that point, I guess. But a lot of the book isn't clear on a lot of the facts, I would say, of like that he is. We're just told later on by other characters that he is, I guess. Anyway, these gang members, they're Los Santos or whatever. Los Santos. Isn't that GTA?
Hey, listen, with something that your boy Trevor does later on, there's a direct correlation with GTA, but that's gonna be later. We'll
Okay.
come to that scene later. It's
Yeah.
about that farmhouse.
Yeah. Okay.
So are we just saying that this guy just took all of these different pop culture references and went slapped them right into the book?
It's plausible.
Because that's really what happened in this book.
That
is
yeah.
the whole book.
Yeah, that's kind of what it feels like is happening. And
You're
like
saying he's a biter?
Well, this is the reason I gave it 1 star. There really was no independent creativity. It was just, I've seen all of these things. Here you go.
yeah. And I feel a lot of it also, I mean, again, like we were kind of saying before, it's like there's not a lot to each chapter. Like you know, you could very easily get through it within like a day or two. So yeah, there's it's below mediocre in my opinion, and Winona's obviously. So but yeah, basically what's his name, Oliver, he kind of like messes himself up, beats his head against the wall. He goes to meet the gangbangers and is like, "Hey, listen, guys, I just got jacked by this other gang. Yo, can you go get them? They're down the road over there." And they're like, "What? Yeah, let's go." And then
the note that I put in that chapter is, why didn't they take their car?
Yeah,
that made no sense.
It was down the block, bro. Like you gonna?
Why are they gonna run? They have their cars right there.
I mean, this is true. But maybe it was just like, maybe they described the gangbangers like not that smart, brain dead, and like, oh yeah, let's go right now.
Yeah, but they didn't describe them that way.
I mean,
yeah, it was more like yeah, okay, let's like a squirrel, you know,
Yeah.
like a dog seeing a squirrel.
A golden retriever.
Yeah, a golden seeing a squirrel.
Let's go.
Rival gang, let's fucking do this. You know, that kind of thing. So, yeah, really dumb. You're right. Like, why didn't they take the car? Well, they left the car. And that's what was Envy's assignment. He just jumps into the car and takes off. He needed to steal their car.
Until someone alerted him, like, yo, someone's jacking the ride.
Yeah, and they go after him. In other cars, I guess.
Yeah, other red vehicles, a red SUV, and all that stuff.
Now they've decided they need their car.
Yeah.
Not a second ago, though.
No. and they left the fucking keys in the car. Like, who does that? Like, why would you do that?
What's interesting for me in that part was, if you were tight with the crew, why didn't you just ask for the car?
You probably could have. Yeah. That is weird. What? Like, it seemed like, you know, yeah. Like, they literally went.
Anything that didn't make sense in this book was just a plot device. It was just like, this has to happen because it furthers the plot. That's it. That's the whole thing.
So our boy jacks the car. He goes through a high-speed chase. He tries to get them to crash. Obviously, that didn't work out the first time, but then he was able to pull some
some GTA.
No, it wasn't GTA. It was a Fast and Furious.
Yeah, Vin Diesel.
A Vin Diesel reference.
God.
Yeah.
He pulled the e-brake, and he Tokyo drifted that whip.
Yep.
And the SUV ran into another car.
Yeah.
And then the other vehicle that was following behind the SUV got clipped too.
And Winona, Vin Diesel ain't got shit on me.
On him, yes, apparently.
I rolled my eyes so hard at that part because really.
Well, we should mention that Winona is a big family fan. She is Vin Diesel, ride or die, to the end of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, that could be anything. It's nondescript.
Yeah.
Nondescript.
So he gets away. After that, Timothy, after being with Jess, heads home and is having dinner with the wife and kids. He doesn't know anything that happened with Jess and the text message.
But he is just vibing right now. He's like, I just had some good bomb sex.
He's got the afterglow. He's got that
Yeah,
afterglow.
afterglow.
So he gets home, his son, he's a little whippersnapper. He's playing video games at the dinner table, and he doesn't like that.
5 minutes, Dad, promise.
Yeah, that kind of thing. And then, but his daughter is such a goody two shoes, and straight A student, and the wife is, I guess, a bitch. like that's kind of where,
She made dinner. I mean, I don't know if she's
right?
that much of a bitch, to
I
be
feel like
honest.
we got no context to believe that his wife is actually a bitch.
She just seemed nice.
Even later in the book, like she's clearly like.
But his internal
wife.
monologue. But his internal monologue is like, if I don't say something about my son playing video games at the dinner table, this bitch is gonna fucking chop my nuts into little tiny pieces.
I mean, maybe he's just fed up with how boring his life is. Maybe that could be why. Like, oh, this bitch. That's probably what it is.
I mean, I don't know. It's very yeah. It's just
we have
very
no
off-putting.
context.
Yeah,
We have no
we have no context
Oh,
on.
look, it's nondescript once again.
Yeah, it's another nondescript problem.
Here comes my
has.
nondescript wife and my nondescript children.
Yeah.
How good of NPCs they are.
And the nondescript reason that my wife is a bitch, and nondescript reason why I'm going to aggressively yell at my son while I snatch his video game away from him.
Yep. Well, anyway, at this point, Envy finally messages him, Timothy.
Oh, you were gonna mention the mashed potato fiasco that happened at the dinner table? That was hilarious.
No, go ahead. No, it's all you. I don't even remember.
No, it's not. It's
really
not. The
important.
food fight between the siblings is not important. It was just funny. It was just like some random crap that was thrown in there just to create some sort of like chaotic environments for
Right.
the family's dysfunction.
Yep.
And that was really just it. And then the real fun starts once he gets the text message. Well, he was and that's when he went upstairs to talk to his son after he just decided to boogie up the stairs.
Yeah.
And that's when he saw his computer
Yeah.
display light up.
Yep.
So he was like, "This is my office."
Yeah. Yeah, and basically it's just Envy being like, "Hey, bro, I have the goods on you. I have all the stuff about you and Jessica. So if you want to have your happy little family together and your reputation not ruined and stuff, you better do what I want." And Timothy's like, "Shit, all right."
And I was like, he's probably like low key thinking like, because he had access to his computer, like, I'm glad I cleared my browser history.
Yeah, I mean, again, and not all of the pieces so far of like the characters like doing what Envy wants, I feel like is so weak.
Yeah.
There's really not very compelling reasons yet. I mean, okay.
Well, I mean, there are some, like for
No.
Timothy, like, all right, I have an affair going on, because Envy also mentioned things like tax evasion and all that stuff. I'm like, shit. I'm screwing behind the wife's back. I have not been that great with money. I've done a lot of shady stuff. This could be the end of me, could be the end of the family. I could get divorced. I could lose everything. I could go to jail. All that stuff. I don't want to learn how to pucker my butthole, so I need to figure out what I need to do.
Okay, I guess, but in terms of the tax evasion stuff, I mean, that's what lawyers are for. And overall, like an affair for a CEO that's super rich, I mean, that's just so out of pocket. I mean, sure, okay, maybe she could sue for half the thing and his reputation gets ruined or whatever, but he doesn't know where this is going with this guy, and there is no reason he should ever believe that he's gonna give him the goods up. You know what I mean? Like that he's still gonna get played.
Yeah, he has no reason to believe that this hacker has any positive will towards him at the end of this. Like, I have no reason to believe that you're not going to release this information either way.
Right.
Like, I have no reason to believe or disbelieve that.
Yeah.
With Jessica, she has no reason to believe that he even knows who her abusive ex really is, besides his name.
Then no, he sent. If I remember, he
sent
a
the video
photo to him, like, this is your ex, the one that you betrayed and made his life miserable. He's living in the same city as you are. It would be a shame if he knew where you were.
Well, actually,
situation, Envy's an asshole.
Wait. That one is a little more weird because he actually just says that the ex is just there on business. He doesn't even live in that city. He's there on business, and he's gonna tip him off to where she lives. which again, she has no
Well, that's
reason
why I
to
said same
believe.
city, not living. Did I say living in the city? Or
Yeah,
did I say?
living,
Oh,
living. Yeah,
my
yeah,
apologies. I
yeah.
misspoke.
Yeah, but it's like again, there's no reason to believe the guy's not gonna do it anyway. What you do is you get the fuck out. You just leave. There's no
Time to leave. Bye.
she just she just kind of goes along with it in terms of like, well, I guess that's it then.
Yeah.
I think it's because
Even though she has money, she said she has money and investments, and she could just cash out and leave. I just feel like it's a very flimsy, or even Oliver and his like stupid reason. Oh, some dude took pictures of my aunt's house or whatever. You know what you do, bro? You call the cops. You call the cops. You have a
that was a trend
cruiser.
for everybody. Like, I should probably call the police.
Yeah, and also all of the reasons for these people's sins being sins made zero sense to me. Like, Oliver, who's greed, right?
Yeah.
No, Roger's.
No.
Roger's greedy. He's a burglar. He likes that cash money. By force, 50 cents, ski mask way.
So he's the only one that really has like. There's two that have like real sins, which is Roger, who burglarizes homes,
Yeah.
right? And Gluttony, who eats human flesh.
Yeah.
The rest of them didn't really do that much wrong. Like,
and I mean,
cheats on his wife, but like, welcome to CEOs.
He's proud of what he does. He loves being there. He loves being charitable. But that makes like he's proud of that. But it's
bullshit.
Yeah,
his
but
pride isn't even real.
Yeah, I think that's more or less like he's just happy to actually do this type of stuff instead of being like, oh yeah, I get off of this. I am such a good boy.
Yeah, I just didn't really find that any of them did. Besides Gluttony and not even Wrath. Like, he was a drunk, but other than that,
Trevor.
Yeah, he was a drunk, and yeah, he got into fights and stuff like that, but he had a good reason for it. The man really just needed some fucking therapy.
Yeah.
The man just needed therapy.
The VA failed him.
The VA really failed him, yeah.
But what did Jessica really do to deserve
nothing
to be like
in fact, because we learned later about that whole thing, I feel like she did the least to deserve.
What did she do?
Nothing. She was a woman. She was born a woman. You don't understand.
She's like, oh, I get paid to have sex. Like, that's her entire sin.
Oh yeah, I think they mentioned this in her chapter, but she was also, I think, pimped out by her ex-boyfriend. That was another thing.
She was pimped out and
he was abusing her.
Abused, drug, all that stuff.
So Envy over here, who's talking about like, oh, since we're talking about the spoiler section.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's not bounce around too much.
Yeah, I mean, I could keep going. All right, let me just keep going. Fine. Let's see. So at this point, we're back to Roger, Mr. Greed. He enters a house of a blind man. Don't breathe. Don't breathe. Don't breathe.
Yeah.
Don't breathe. Don't breathe. Don't breathe.
breathe.
This entire chapter is don't breathe.
Yeah, that entire chapter was don't breathe. He just didn't find the semen torture room.
Yeah.
Just spoiled that movie. Good job.
Okay. If you haven't seen Don't Breathe, this is this chapter, kind of, sort of, in a way. Basically, it's a blind man with a lot of guns up in the attic. Roger finds the attic. He tiptoes his way in. He throws shit around so to trick the blind man. The blind man has super senses. Okay, because that's how it is with blind people. I don't know if you know this, but they can like hear a pin drop. Guys.
The blind people lore that is just like
or the super
senses.
Damn! Like this was insane. This was stupid. I mean, Don't Breathe was fun.
That was a pretty good movie, but having it added in here,
yeah,
that was a blatant rip off. The moment I read that, and I'm like, there's no way. There's no fucking way.
Yeah.
And then it went up like, oh god damn it, here we are.
I wrote a little note that just said "Don't breathe" at the end.
Don't breathe. Oh my god! If you've seen it, you know. But yeah, there was no semen room. Spoilers for Don't Breathe. But I'm not going any further. Okay, semen room. That's all you need to know about Don't Breathe.
That's all you need to know.
So he gets away with a cache of guns. That's what he was there for. That's what he wanted. Yeah, in the attic there was a cache of guns. He just stuffs them in a duffel. Okay, so then after that, it's Jessica, Lust. I keep on reminding myself, but at this point, everybody's, you know who everybody is pretty much. She gets dressed up. She goes to a nightclub. Envy tells her to. She gets stopped by a bouncer, but the boss spots her and is like, "Oh yeah, baby, why don't you come in?" We learn his name is Nikolai Vines.
Yes.
Okay.
Nikolai
NV.
Vance. NV.
NV, yeah. Okay. Anyway, the
The
guy's like,
only red herring in the whole book.
yeah. Big. Let's just get it out of the way. He's a big red hair. So NV over here, he's like, well, you know, you're good for business. So I wanted to let you in. So once she's finally in, she spots her actual objective, which is a big fat gang member from Los Santos, or the Los Santos gang, I should say, because otherwise it's GTA.
Are they from Vinewood? Is it Vine?
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh my god! I didn't even think about that. Is that why? Ha.
And we all know that GTA loves.
Isn't Nikolai also a name in GTA?
Yeah, it is.
No,
No,
is
no,
it one of
four. In four.
Oh yeah, but I was also gonna say that Grand Theft Auto, Rockstar, not sponsored. They love their strip clubs. I'm just saying.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah, continue back to the
Yeah,
trouble that they find.
basically she sexes her way over there and does a little pole dance, I guess. Can you do that? Can you just go up on a pole?
No,
You absolutely
we
cannot.
Maybe.
But Mr. Vine's like, yo.
But wait a
baby,
minute.
come here.
What,
I mean, but he had to put in the GTA prostitute walk. That's basically what that was.
what? But it maybe like a go-go dance club bar. Is that a thing?
Maybe, I don't know. We don't. This is a
Yeah,
nondescript.
nondescript.
Everything about
So yeah, he likes what she's doing. So he's like, "All right, why don't you come to my place, baby?"
I got the penthouse suite.
Yeah, the penthouse suite. So then after that, Timothy, he's forced to drive into the middle of nowhere. I don't even know if it was his car.
No, he had to pick up the car from Roger.
So the person that stole the
Oliver.
car was Oliver. He stole it from the gangbangers. He had to leave it off by a construction site
Okay.
of a mall. And our boy Roger was the one that went to get the gun. So he had to wait for Roger. Came up to the car and like, guns, bag, here you go.
No. Because this car did not have any guns. This car had a shovel.
Yeah.
Oh,
In the trunk.
Yeah, you're right.
So we're thinking about the other one. Yeah. So Timothy, he had to go out in the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
With a shovel.
But here's the thing. Why is there a shovel in the trunk of this nondescript car?
Nondescript car.
Was it ever described as his car though? How did he end up in the car?
I don't remember. I'm not going to say if it was played or not.
I don't know.
His car, I don't remember.
I don't know. This is kind of, this one stumped me because I was trying to look back at that and it just was not. It was not clear.
I woke up in a new Bugatti.
So anyway, out into the middle of nowhere, with the GPS pointed by NV, and basically he's told to dig a hole. He digs the hole, finds
Shia LaBeouf.
What's that?
He finds Shia LaBeouf holes.
No, yeah, holes. Yeah, so he gets like trash bags, right, of like body parts. That's what he finds. And he's like, all right, you got to load them up and head back into town to this new location.
Which is also very GTA-esque because he's just like, oh, here's the pin, here's the other pin. Just do what you got to do. Complete this mission.
Yeah, it's a mission.
Do you get the respect points afterwards?
No. There's no respect here.
Damn.
I have no respect for this guy. Although Timothy does call the number. This is the first character to decide to call who's been messaging him.
Better call Saul.
And it's a robot voice.
Which is very Saw-esque.
Yeah, it's just a robot voice, so we can't get a hit on man, woman, whatever, but whatever at this point. So anyway, he heads back into town to this residential house. Next is Matthew, Gluttony. This is the cannibal. And I think this is the first time in a while that we've seen Matthew. Basically, he has a hot date. He seems to be bisexual. Women or men, doesn't matter to him. He'll eat anybody. He gets a message from NV to head into the backyard. And he gets out there and he sees his last victim, the woman that he had for dinner, I guess, strewn about, her body parts strewn about, because Timothy over there, he just did that and ran off without Matthew noticing. Maybe he wasn't home.
He was too busy cooking.
Cooking his lamb.
Yeah,
His
lamb. Yeah, lamb.
Silence
Silence of the Lambs. Yeah, this
You get the
fucking book.
references here. Like, we see where it's going.
So
He's
at this
very
point,
inspired.
yeah. So at this point, we're back to Jessica. She's with the gang leader at his hotel. He's trying to get her to drink. She doesn't want to drink. And it turns out that the guy was faking the drink. He just poured water, and he expected her to react to that, I guess, because he immediately just lunged. So no matter what, whether it was, I don't understand that whole scene of whether or not it was alcohol. It could have been alcohol. It doesn't matter. But he chose to put water in there and then was upset at her not drinking it. But at the same time, I guess it was roofied. I don't know. It was just a very weird thing for him to do.
He was trying to show the Jesus trick, water into wine.
Yeah. Maybe something like that. It was just weird. So anyway, he lunges at her. He's like, "I like it rough, baby. I'm gonna fuck you up, and I'm gonna fuck you."
Yeah, he pulled the gun out. It was a 9 because apparently everybody has a 9mm. There was no other gun that was really
yeah,
except for Trevor's part. But
in their defense, though, the 9mm is one of the most common weapons ever bought. So
yes,
it's true.
Kind of true.
I would have chose the 50 Action Express for a big crime boss, but sure.
He wasn't really a crime boss. He was a gang leader.
Yeah. Well, I would say he's a crime boss, right? If you're a leader of a gang.
He got money. He's got bodyguards. He has money to flaunt.
Okay, so if he's a crime boss, right, you would think that those people wouldn't just invite some random woman up into his penthouse apartment.
I don't know.
Whether or not she was
interested, I guess. You must have been really hot. Like I said, a high class hussy with a degree.
So what you guys are saying is men only think with their dicks, and you cannot trust them.
Whoa!
No, that's not exactly true.
Why am I being pulled into that?
In this situation, that's what happened.
Well, again, you need to understand that this book seems to be a parody. Because
literally, it's just like
it is a parody, just like how GTA is a parody of life. This book was mocking that parody.
It's not really a thriller. It's more of or a horror. It's more of a comedy. This should have been in the comedy section.
Yeah,
it's a suspenseful comedy.
Yeah, I agree. So she gets the upper hand on him, grabs the gun, kind of forces him to talk under Envy's orders. Basically, he wanted to know if where the gang members' hideout is, which turns out to be a casino, but none of that matters. Like, I don't know.
Completely useless information.
That was dropped.
Yeah, that was definitely dropped.
Tie into the rest of the doesn't tie into the ending, doesn't tie into anything.
Yeah, but then he's like, why are you here? You hussy, you high class hussy. Well, who sent you? Kind of thing. And then he slips. Was it Nikolai? Was it Mr. Vines? Basically. And then Envy. Envy is just called and told where the location of the hideout is. And after that, she basically knocks out Roca, the gang guy, and leaves. That's kind of it. But I guess in her head now, she's like thinking it's,
She's like, Nikolai is Envy.
Right, yeah.
Or Nikolai.
So Oliver and Roger meet up. Roger drops off the weapons with and I guess Oliver stuffs them into the car. They don't really talk much. They just exchange a couple of sentences, which is really weird.
Well, he asked why did you do this? Basically,
I'm greedy.
Because I'm greedy.
It was a whole anime turn the head because I'm greedy.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Walking away with his hands in his pockets.
Yeah, very weird. After that, Matt, he's supposed to kidnap Brian Thompson. It turns out that he has a hypodermic needle, and I don't think at this point it's been mentioned, but I'm just gonna mention it. Mr. Matt over here, the cannibal, actually works at St. Mary's Hospital as a nurse.
Yeah, I think I mentioned it early that he was a nurse as well. So that kind of perspective of how you would be able to gain access to needle, the chemical inject, or the chemical cocktail, if you will, to put his victims to sleep.
Yeah, I feel like if you steal that kind of stuff from a hospital,
yeah, it's going to come up on the radar because pretty much all medications are locked within like a medication container.
yeah,
But he
yeah.
said he has a buddy. He has
Yeah,
a
but
buddy.
they have to sign. They have to like use their key cards to get into those medication.
Maybe he might have dirt on the person. Maybe he'd like to give him
The person,
well-cooked
he's
lamb.
the nurse.
Yeah, I know. Like, who knows?
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's really weird, right? Like
Another nondescript event.
I don't know. It's very weird. So anyway, he kidnaps Brian Thompson, drugs him, takes him back to his place, and beats the shit out of him, and then records it for Envy, as per
Very
the instructions. Yeah. So after that, we're back to Trevor, Mr. Wrath, Mr. Marine. That's got a hard on for beating people up. He gets the message from Envy. He gets a message from Envy, and it's basically Brian being brutally assaulted. And Trevor turns out lost his daughter and wife
In the DUI.
in a DUI accident. And that's why he's a mean drunk now. He's got demons. And Envy's like, "Do you want a piece of this?" And so he's like, "Yeah, baby, I want to."
Let's go. I'm ready. I've been waiting for this for years. I've been training my depression for years for this one. My hatred and depression.
And I think honestly, of all the characters, I mean, I guess of all the characters, I think maybe I would have liked Wrath's story to be longer, more drawn out. Maybe I could have been more sympathetic, to him. It's just with the way it's written and rushed, and kind of, also Wrath is just a very. But see, the thing is, like, I think there's too many characters that are main characters at this point, and it gets whittled down, sure. But I feel like it's boring by the end of the book.
Is that like Wrath seems to feel like he has justifiable anger because his wife and daughter died in that DUI accident.
Yeah.
But then he's doing the same fucking thing. He's been arrested for DUIs.
Yep.
He's having the same issues. He's getting into fights because of his alcoholism. So I'm supposed to feel bad for the fact that his wife and daughter died, but then he's out here possibly going to cause the same thing to happen to somebody else's family. So why should I feel bad for him?
Yep. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
No, I was gonna say yeah. So then he gets thrown into that mission to go into the to that farmhouse, just like in GTA. That's the one I was talking about.
Yeah. Well, so right after that, Tim gets a message from Jessica. She tells Tim that she's being blackmailed. They agree to meet. They come together and they talk about Nikolai, because Tim also has had dealings with Nikolai. So he's like a power player in the area, and Tim's a CEO. So Jessica's like, "Okay, I'm gonna get more details about Nikolai. I know somebody in the drug world. This guy seems to be like mixed in with the drug dealer gangbangers, right? So let me go that route, and you talk to Nikolai directly, I guess." To get to the bottom of what Envy's plot is. After that, yeah, it's like what you said, John. Trevor is sent out into GTA. GTA 5. I forgot.
Yeah, that exact mission, going to the farmhouse. It was for the Grand Theft Auto one. It was a rival drug dealing organization. And in this story, they are drug users. They have a meth lab in the basement, just like in the game.
Yeah.
And he goes in there and rampages, kills everybody, and then blows up that damn.
But like, what was the reason? What was the reason for that whole scene?
To prove that he can now go
and he has anger issues. We already knew that.
Well, yes, but now his reward is to go kill the person that killed his family. But the reason why that house was taken out, no context in that. That was nondescript. There was no reason.
So many things are nondescript, are not tied into the ending. It's just dropped plot after dropped plot.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in the totality of the book, looking at this, I guess it's like, well, he was doing the world a favor kind of thing, and that's kind of it. But they weren't. Oh, okay. Well, we'll get to that. So after Trevor kills everybody inside and burns the torches the house of the drug dealers, I'm gonna assume I don't know if it was said, but I'm pretty sure they're the Los Santos drug dealers for Nikolai.
There's a
I think
plausibility,
so.
or there's a supplier, like that was their supplier.
Yeah. Well, and I think that sets off Nikolai. A little bit later when well we'll get to that, but basically
The meeting of the two.
yeah, but even there it's very this book sucks. Let me keep going.
Nondescript, very nondescript.
Yeah. Okay, so anyway, we get to a scene where Oliver is now meeting up with Freddy, his crippled cousin. This is the one that his aunt was like, hey, can you help me out? I gotta go out, do some errands or whatever. And he's like giving him a bath in the tub.
Yeah, and he had the Stephen Hawking chair next to him,
Yeah, and he's got like an oxygen tank and stuff,
and the
and
computer and all that.
yeah. So he uses that to talk, like Stephen Hawking, like you said. So Jessica shows up and she starts asking about Oliver's drug dealings and stuff. And Jessica actually has performed the prostitution on Oliver and
And
Freddy.
his cousin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a pity fuck. That's what it was. But
Yeah.
she was happy that he was able to be happy and be able to lose his virginity, knowing that he was wheelchair bound.
Now I'm thinking back, okay, because I remember that she watched the newscast for Timothy, and Freddie was the crippled boy for Timothy. That he was doing like all this
The
like,
charity for it.
the
That's what I'm saying. Like I think the person was the aunt, rolling Freddie around, and he was the one that was going to get life-saving treatment.
Freddie is well, that's Freddie's mom.
Yeah.
That is Freddie's mom.
Mm.
But my point is that during that scene after she banged Tim, she had said, oh well, I have a little bit of pride in me because I gave a pity fuck to a cripple. So
Like how you can be proud of that? I mean, I guess it is.
But she saw the newscast, so she probably saw Freddie at that point too, right?
Oh my god! And like didn't realize it?
I don't know. It's very weird, right?
But wasn't Oliver the one that was it? All no, it was the mom that set up the no, that was
the fucking
Oliver that set up the. What he's saying is Jessica saw the newscast of Timothy.
No, I know that.
She saw the newscast, so if Freddie was there, she should have seen Freddie.
Yeah, but that wasn't anything she really cared about at the time.
She went to the house with Oliver, and Freddie was in the bath, so she should have been able to connect the dots.
No, she did.
No, she didn't.
No, she did. She remembered.
She remembered that she gave that broken cripple a pity fuck. That's kind of all she remembered.
Connect that the guy that was in the bathtub was Freddie.
Connected.
No, she did connect that it was Freddie. She knew who Freddie was.
Yeah, but connect it back to Timothy.
Real. That's what I'm saying.
You didn't make it clear. Not to me, not as clear.
I don't know. Dave seems like he understood what I said.
Yeah. Okay. And it doesn't. Let's just keep going. So anyway, she tells Oliver that well, she basically needs help to get to Nikolai Viles. So yeah, Vines. That's it, Vines. And Oliver's like, "Fuck, all right," because I believe she tells him about the blackmail. Like she's being blackmailed by some guy named NV, and so and he's also being blackmailed, so he's more inclined to help. So by the same guy. So after that, Matt and Trevor meet up. So we got Gluttony and Wrath together. Trevor goes to see Brian, who's in the basement tied up and all fucked up and beat up. And he's like, all right, to Matt, do you have some tools? Because I'm going to fuck this guy up. This guy is the guy who killed my wife and my daughter, and I'm gonna chop him up.
And my pleasure.
And Matt's like, oh yeah, baby. I don't know.
This is what I live for. I'm about to be a cuck in this fucking murder, apparently.
Yeah, pretty much. So he gets off on that idea. Then Tim messages Vines to meet up because he's got a business opportunity. And then when they do meet up, they start talking about the shady part of the business, because at this point, CEO Tim has no dealings with drugs, as far as we know. But now he's alluding to, well, I'm better than that. Let me in on your territory or whatever. And Vines is like, I don't know, man. You just stick to your whatever. And he leaves, but then he gets a message from NV almost immediately after, Vines gets up and leaves. And basically Tim's like, all right, I'm fucking done playing games. I know who you are. And basically leaves the restaurant or whatever, and heads out to basically leave with his family. He's done with this like bullshit, which he should have done from the beginning. Like at this point, this guy has so much blackmail. Why is he moving around body parts? In a seedy sedan. You know what I mean?
Like, you had less blackmail before this moment.
Now you're just caught up with
Yeah.
all sorts of felonies.
Yeah. You would know what would be the statute of fine for moving.
Desecrating a corpse.
Well,
Yeah.
but here's the thing: it could be, but it could be like tampering with evidence.
Desecrating a corpse too.
It could be aiding and abetting. It could be, assisting like the actual perpetrator of the crime. There could be a lot that's done to it.
Yeah.
Illegal transportation of a deceased person. I don't know. There could be a lot that's applied to it.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
There's a lot.
So anyway, after that, Jess and Oliver end up at the restaurant where Vines is at. Vines' bodyguard catches them. His name is Craig. Very important. The most important character in this fucking book.
Most pivotal character that is in this book.
Maybe 200 words total.
Did he?
200.
No. I'm saying like the whole part, that whole section was maybe 200 words.
Yeah. So I caught Jessica and Oliver in the alleyway of that shady Chinese restaurant that's just off the main street.
I completely forgot that this happened. This was so not memorable.
but if this didn't happen, then okay. So he gets caught. They get caught. They get brought in, and Vines immediately recognizes Jessica from just that night, the other night. It's really hard to tell.
I remember you, Beach.
Yeah, I remember you, Beach. So basically Roca had woken up from his like beating with the handgun because Jessica had just clocked him. Which also, that's not how that works, but whatever. And Roca had told Vines, "Hey, I was assaulted by this bitch that you let into your club." And she had asked about our hideout or whatever, I don't know. And then Vines recounts some more stuff that has happened. Like, I guess the gang members that have been supplying the drugs, their car got stolen just yesterday. And and then I guess one of his houses blows up full of drugs.
Like, ever since you came to my club, everything went to shit.
Yeah. So at this time, Craig gets a message from Envy, and he's like, "Oh."
Well, he's like, "Oh," and he's like, and Nikolai looks at him like, "For real, man? Put it away."
So Nikolai at this point is like, I'm gonna shoot you. Craig, put your fucking phone away. And Craig puts the phone away, only to pull out the gun and shoots Nikolai in the head.
He was like,
because at this time, like, there was almost no reason for Nikolai not to kill Oliver, who could have been easily traced back. Obviously, Oliver is the one who stole the car, right? All he has to do is talk to any gang member. Just be like,
what happened? Like, yo, Oliver.
That's the guy.
Doing dumb stuff.
And then
knew who Oliver was. It's not like Oliver was like a random person to them. They knew
he was working with them.
So like there was no reason for it to not be traced back to him. And Nikolai, his whole character is just, again, a plot device for anything that doesn't make sense. Well,
the plot's all over the floor now.
It's all over the floor. It's gone. So the contrivance is that Craig over here is the eighth sin. The eighth most deadly sin, despair.
He's like, listen, Envy has more plans for you. It's Envy's will. Here's the phone. I gotta go.
Yeah. Here's the phone. Take the gun. You know.
And then Envy's just like, despair did what it needed to do. Bye.
And overall, as far as we understood of the blackmail that Craig, that the most pivotal character of this entire fucking book, the blackmail was like, I don't know, some dark web shit.
Yeah, he was finding. He was looking at snuff films. That's what it was.
Snuff
films.
films.
He was getting his rocks off on the deceased. If you will.
Which, like, don't get me wrong, disgusting, but also
he's a bodyguard for a drug kingpin. He's a bodyguard for a drug kingpin. Who cares? In your line of work.
You think he doesn't see people die all the time if he's a part of a drug? Like, that's so ridiculous.
It's dumb.
But he didn't want to be exposed as, you know, beating his meat to violence.
To who? To Vines? Like, who? Vines is not going to care.
They had no reason to believe that he was beating his meat to it. Realistically.
But if you're watching Snuff, then there's a high likelihood that is sexualized and you're watching it for pleasure.
Yeah, tell that to all the like 14, 15-year-old kids that were watching those like crazy snuff films early in the 2000s. The internet was like,
I feel like
Faces of Death. Faces of Death? Is that what you're talking
about? Oh, Faces, yes.
Yeah, but like One Man, One Jar, are you telling me that all of the teenagers that watched that were like jerking it to it?
Live Leak. There were a few, aside from the beheadings and stuff, there were also a few Russian murder porn kind of stuff where it's like some bum and they're like screwing him with a screwdriver and just like twisting around in his guts. See, you
forgot the Beat Me Pain Olympics.
But I could promise you guys I never beat off to that.
That's what I'm saying. Just because somebody is watching that, it doesn't mean that they're getting off to it. And also, how does that play into despair?
Because he was scared that he was going to be caught, that he likes to watch the snuff.
Despair means sadness.
Maybe he felt bad. I don't know.
Yeah.
Again, that was a bigger plot hole than any of the other plot holes here, because Craig just came and left. That was it.
He was like the most important character, and like we got nothing about him, and apparently he's despair, but there's nothing there's nothing.
Maybe there might be a second book where it is strictly on Craig.
If there is a second book,
I hope not. I hope not.
Craig.
Yeah,
it should
be
named Craig.
Craig. Oh my God, Halo Craig.
Oh no, not Craig.
Craig.
The brute. No, it was a meme. It's a different meme.
Yeah.
That's a different conversation.
This whole book is a meme.
It is a meme, honestly.
Oh, okay.
Which I'm okay with.
All right. So Vines is dead. So obviously he's not Envy. And by this point in the book, we have figured out everything. At least I did anyway. Prior to that, Oliver.
We spoke about Freddy in the bathtub.
As soon as Envy said that he was in his own prison, he made some commentary about how he was in his own prison. I was like, oh, this guy's crippled or sick or something like that. And then the cripple came in and I was like, all right, we're good.
Yeah.
This is
and it ties into Timothy, it ties into Jessica, it ties into Oliver, it ties into
Matthew. No, it doesn't really tie into not really, no.
No, it does, because St. Mary's is the hospital that all of this shit is happening. Roger is at St. Mary's. You know, the only one we don't understand the connection yet is Wrath. But we do eventually get there. It goes back to so Oliver, Jessica discuss what just happened. They tell each other about the sin stuff. The bodyguard was despair. They realize envy is envy. Envy, the sin of envy. They get a message from Envy to await instructions, and they watch a video he sends to Jessica. The ex finds out where she lives, and he's causing a disturbance, being like, hey, bitch, I'm gonna fucking kill... Where is this bitch?
Where is she?
I fucking will kill her!
Yep, I think it was like someone had a broom or something like that. Was it him that had the broom, or was it someone else that had the broom?
I don't fucking care.
That's how I feel about this whole book.
This is so good. I love it. No, this is funny. This is better than me reading the book. And then Oliver gets another video of his fucking aunt.
Phrasing.
Yeah.
Phrasing,
Okay, yeah, comma. Put some commas in there. Put a semicolon somewhere. I don't know. So then,
he's like caught being disorderly in the lobby of an apartment. Porn.
Yeah. So Envy tells Oliver to go to an amusement park. And Jessica finds his gun to Oliver to go off, but I feel like she needs the gun. So I don't know. Oh, I think maybe he instructs her to give the gun, I guess, over to Oliver, because that is part of it, the plot here. But again, I'm not really sure. Okay. Well, anyway,
I don't recall if there was a specific instruction. I might have glanced over that.
Yeah.
Nondescript.
Tim. Next, we got Tim. He goes into his bank. He's like, "I want to withdraw all my money," and they're like, "What? That's crazy. You can't do that. This is a bank, sir." Sir, wait a minute. We can't withdraw all your money. We're a bank.
Literally, agent in there when they're going to the back and like, "Are you being kidnapped? Are you being ransomed? No, bitch, I want money." And that was a scene from a movie, if I remember correctly. I can't remember the name of the movie.
The whole book are scenes from the movie.
Movies, games, shows, other books, maybe.
You Googled like if you did like a YouTube video for "Are you being kidnapped?" you would find the movie, whatever the movie is.
I think you're right. I'm gonna look at it and just find it. But let's continue.
Yeah. So Trevor and Matt are hanging out like buds. They're having a fucking barbecue cookout, eating Brian. Or he's cooking Brian.
Also, I have a question. Why? What? If you've never eaten a human being before, and I could say that I'm pretty confident in saying that the three of us have never eaten a human being before.
Yeah.
Let's just say your enemy, you got to beat the shit out of them for whatever reason. You've never eaten a person in your life before. Why would you suddenly choose to do so? Why would that suddenly be okay to you?
Okay. Speaking from personal experience.
Oh, really?
From personal experience?
I would not eat my enemy. I would not eat their enemy. No.
Would you eat your enemy?
Would I eat my enemy?
Yeah.
I don't think. So here's the thing. Here's the thing.
How do you say that?
Here's the thing. Understanding the reasoning behind Trevor's actions to get even. I feel that for Trevor, it's symbolic to not only kill his enemy or the person he's despised, but to eat him because he's like, this piece of shit got killed by my hands, and I'm gonna shit him out.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Not even Trevor from GTA 5 would eat his enemy like this.
I mean, Trevor in GTA had some sense of a moral compass.
Yeah.
As fucked as that compass went.
Yeah.
I could kind of understand that.
But my perspective is, if you've never eaten another human being and you've never considered it in your entire life, right? You've never considered eating another human. Even if it was your enemy, you're not going to suddenly be like, yeah, I'll eat this stew with this man's, I don't know, what was it, a leg in there?
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't.
Well, he was missing a leg and arm, I think it was.
Yeah, and the arm was sitting in the fridge when Oliver went to see the... That's later on in the book, but anyway, it doesn't make any sense to me that all of a sudden he's okay with eating a human being, because that's a pretty big stretch.
That is a big leap. But Matthew, the Gordon Ramsay of this world, he made that shit bomb as fuck.
Yeah,
so.
Supposedly it was really
that was
amazing.
A Michelin star. That was a Michelin star meal.
Even this is what fucked me up. Even Oliver, so at one point in the book, he goes to the house and he tastes the soup, right? He tastes the stew.
Well, we're jumping ahead.
I understand. He opens the fridge.
No, but this is important to this part. I understand. All right.
He sees what was it? A hand? It was a hand.
It was a female hand. It was from his first victim.
Yeah.
But so now he can cognitively put together the pieces that what is being cooked is human, and he does not react. He doesn't react to it at all.
Yeah.
I mean, he kind of does, but not in regards to like, oh,
Well, he
He reacts that there's a hand in there, but he doesn't react to the fact that he just ate it.
yeah.
because who was it? That was Oliver, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he pothead. He's not thinking all that clearly, so he's probably just aerospace.
No, I think at
out
this
there.
point he was thinking a lot more clearly.
All right. Let me just keep going because
we're
we'll get to
ahead.
that part. Yeah, we'll just get to that
But
part.
we're pretty much there. He was
Not
our-
yet. We're getting close.
Yeah. So Matt mentions that. So he mentions that he's a nurse at St. Mary's, I guess, at this point, because that's what I wrote. But anyway, Trevor is messaged by NV and goes to an amusement park. Or is tasked to go to an amusement park. And he asks Matt if he has a clown outfit because that's part of the plan. And Matt does. He's got a clown outfit. I guess if he's pulling from stuff, I guess it's the which one? Gacy.
Yeah.
John Wayne
Gacy,
yeah.
and this bitch like, yeah, of course I have a clown costume.
I do
How
think
do you think I get my
that,
victims?
I do think that the cannibal section was both Silence of the Lambs and Jeffrey Dahmer, though, because the whole like putting
the
parts in the fridge,
and also the disambiguousness of his like sexuality, right?
Yeah,
with like Gacy and all that shit. Like, yeah,
that's not Gacy, that's Dahmer.
Or Dahmer.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, but who's the clown costume?
Gacy.
Yeah, I was gonna say like with a little bit of Gacy in it.
No, I know, but
he's like everything.
Cannibalism part of it was Dahmer.
Yeah,
and Silence of the Lambs.
but what about the little bit of the sexual promiscuity with men and all that stuff? Like
that's Dahmer.
But wasn't it also Gacy?
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying.
No,
especially the clown costume reference. Come on.
Okay, nope. Well, it doesn't really matter. I mean, he's pulling from that serial killer, vibe.
You got the trio.
Yeah. So after that, we go back to Roger. He's back at the hospital. His mom suffers some sort of, I guess, cardiac event or something. Mm-hmm. And the doctors do save her, but they're like, "Yo, man, I mean, going forward, we can keep trying, but this bitch is she's dead. She's gonna die tomorrow.
Like death is knocking on her door at this point, bro."
Yeah. So okay, he says, "Listen, I can get the money for this experimental treatment. All right. So I'll be right back." You just stay there and don't let her die. Okay. So after that, it goes back to Matt. He gets told by NV to go to a meat packing plant that has been deserted. He's told to wear a pig mask, an apron, and a glove and some gloves. And
Saw.
Yeah, Saw.
The moment I heard that, because again, we already had like the similarities of Saw. Once I heard about the pig mask, I started thinking like, is this like a prequel to the movies? That's what it felt like. Like, is it like? And then all I heard was the "Hello Zep" fucking track from Saw just playing in my head.
Yeah.
And also in Saw, it was the pig mask and the apron, because I remember that part of the movie.
Yep. That's what he used to sedate his victims.
Yeah. So he's told to go to the control room, I guess, and he sees that all the cameras are on, but NV tells him, "Don't worry about it, baby. I love you." Well, he doesn't say that, but he
doesn't say like, "Don't worry about it. It's time for you to play."
Yeah. So as soon as that happens, Jessica walks in, and that's his prize, and he's got I guess, NV. Also, why is there a chainsaw, and how did it get there?
It was there.
No reason.
It's just there. Nondescript. So yeah, there's a chainsaw there, and he's like, here you go, play with your new toy. And then after that,
he should have used a bone saw. That would have made more sense.
More sense, right? And he's in a meatpacking plant. Like, a chainsaw doesn't belong in a meatpacking plant.
A hatchet, perhaps, that would have been understandable. A chainsaw. Texas Chainsaw Massacre is where I think he was getting that
Texas
one from.
Chainsaw Mascara.
Yeah.
Mean guy over here.
So we go back now to Jessica's point of view as she's entering the meatpacking plant. She's coming inside, and all the machines come to life, and all the meat's flying. And Matt comes at her, cuts her. And, she's, like, bleeding, but, got her arm or whatever.
Well, before that, she was able to get the butcher knife on one of the pig's carcasses.
Yeah, and she's able to, like, slash at him and cut his leg a little bit there to kind of wound him, but not, enough to stop his rampage.
Got a little bit of a limp.
Yeah, and so she runs off deeper into the factory. Then it flips back over to Oliver, who gets to the amusement park and has the gun, and he's told to go to the carousel, which he's afraid of, but none of
Well, he
that is
wasn't
real.
told. He had to remember because he was told you need to find a clown, but there was no description on
Okay.
how to find a clown. He was like, he was thinking back childhood memories, like, oh yeah, I've been here with my buddies, blah blah, but I don't fucking like clowns. And like, what's the one place
Yeah,
that the clowns would be at? Oh, the carousel, apparently.
yeah,
How would Trevor know that? How
yeah.
would Trevor know that that's where the clown was?
Yeah, well, Trevor is the clown.
No, I understand that. But okay, so Oliver is having this idea where this is where the clown was when this amusement park was the thing when I was a kid. How does Trevor know that?
Well, I don't
There was no
remember.
instruction for that.
Now, I would have to double check if Envy told him to go to the carousel, in the amusement park, but I'm not sure. You know what I mean?
I'm pretty sure he just said go to the amusement park.
Okay, well then yes, then it's another stupid plot.
So I guess Trevor was just standing by the carousel, like, oh, like,
Yeah. So Oliver, yeah, it gets up to Trevor, who's just facing the other direction, and points the gun at his head, and he starts, I can't do this, I can't kill a man, I can't do it, kind of thing. And then it goes back again. We're jumping all over because that's how this book is. To Tim at the penthouse, and his wife is like, "What's going on, Tim? It's 1 a.m. What are you doing? You're freaking me out. What about the kids? The kids?
we gotta leave.
Yeah, we gotta leave." And he's like packing all the shit and all of that.
The
and he's
IRS
like,
is coming for me.
Yeah. We have to start our lives over. Which is a crazy thing.
We're going to the Bahamas or something.
Yeah, okay. Well, no. John comes home with a duffel bag full of money and is telling you, we gotta pack our bags. We gotta go.
I'm calling the police.
Yeah.
We're 1013ing you because something's wrong.
Yeah. Something's wrong.
Are you gonna question the 1.4 mil in the briefcase?
No, take that.
Look at that. Not a ride or die scam artist over here. Worse than Bezos.
Yep. Jeffrey Bezos. All right, so
for his boat. I don't want to hear it.
So the doorbell rings and Tim gets attacked, and they wrestle for the gun that the attacker has, basically.
What? I didn't order pizza.
Yeah. Very, very weird. So right after that, we get to Matt is following Jessica's blood trail, and he finds her, but he gets kicked in the groin super hard.
Yeah.
Because that's the only thing that women heroines do in movies and TV shows.
Rock them in the nuts. But then Matthew was like, huh, this sucks, but I've been here before.
Yeah. Basically, he just like, I get kicked in the nuts on the weekend every day. Jesus,
this is just a Tuesday for me, bitch.
He's like, I'm a serial killer. People fight back all the time. No big deal.
Yeah. So
at this point, you should have started wearing a cup, but that's a different story.
Yeah, right. If you're
not wrong, you are not wrong.
Yeah, a cup. And like, just I mean, the fact that he wanted to dress up in this like get up too is just, I mean, whatever. So anyway, she runs away from him and heads straight to the office, but there are no exits in the office. She runs up.
Yeah,
like she runs up.
Make logical sense, but sure.
Yeah, she runs up. So now we're
either
back.
You're a top or a bottom.
Yeah, we're back to Trevor. He's at the carousel with the clown outfit, and Trevor, is basically like, a kid, stop this shit.
You ain't ready for this shit.
You ain't ready for this shit, and just bumps him with his forehead. And
that's after he slapped the gun. He's like,
slaps the gun away, bops him in the with his forehead in the nose, cracks him open, and Oliver is just like blubbering and runs off, scurries off. Trevor picks up the gun, and he's like, "Dude, you didn't unclick the safety."
Yeah, you didn't disengage the safety, you moron.
Yeah, so obviously big fat fail for Oliver.
That was on killarmy.com.
Yeah. It goes back to Roger, who is fighting with Tim. So we learn that it's Roger who was convinced to attack Tim. Tim's son gets in the way, tries to kind of like fight off Roger. Gets
I thought the son got shot for a second. I'm not gonna lie, the way it was described, I thought he got shot.
Yeah, there were gunshots in the middle of the fight. So I definitely thought
Tim was like, no,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh shit,
Yeah.
the kid got shot, but then the kid actually wasn't shot. It was like just shot near him. I'm like,
Yeah.
you could have, you had a moment, and you could have painted this to be like, you just killed my son. I am going to fuck your life up now.
Yeah.
But no, it was like, no, it was just passive. It was a passive shot.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and so the fighting continues, and you know, Tim gets backed up against a window, and he has no gun, and he's like, but I love my family. I don't care anymore. Just do it, kill me, but leave them be, kind of thing. And so
Do it.
Roger pops him. He doesn't want to pop him, but you know, his mom is his only thing, like, in the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah, and he should have understood. Like, yeah, man, I understand. Like, there was a moment where he sympathized with uh Timothy, and it was like, I get it because he loves his family. He's willing to do anything for his family, but so am I. And that's when Tim was like, do it, and he just pops off. I think it was like 3 rounds or a few rounds at him, shatters the window, and Tim just does the skydive.
Yep. Yeah. So unfortunately, you know, we'll get to Tim's exit soon. But that's pretty much it. He's dead. I'll just tell you now, he's dead.
He was sugar gliding down the building.
Yeah. And so now it's back to Jessica. She tricks Matt in the office with like a cell phone, and then stabs him, and I think it like cuts into his like already like gaping wound or whatever, and then stabs him in the neck.
Yeah, I think did she put her like her heel or her foot into like that one when he climbed up on him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
So they tussle a little bit, but she's able to get her hands on the chainsaw, but you know, she's trying to
That's
like
after
grab it and stuff.
that's after she Van Gogh'd him, I think.
Yeah.
Or no, Mike Tyson him.
She bit his ear and just kept.
Yeah, ripped
holding on.
that out, and that's when he dropped that chainsaw, and that's how he was able to get it.
And then finally gets it, and then she takes the chainsaw and does a nice little sweep up the groin and disembowels the man. And his guts
from the taint to the gut.
Yeah, it just flows out. And
he's just on the ground. He's like, oh, not my orgies.
Not my orgies. And he's super dead, super duper dead.
He was super mad, then he was super dead.
Yeah. And then she finally finds the control room, and that's where she gets like his like wallet and keys and stuff, and learns that he's a nurse at St. Mary's Hospital.
Took the phone too, as well.
Yeah, because she needed somebody to unlock it.
Yeah, his phone. Yep. And so it's back to Oliver again. He runs into a fun house, and you know, he's getting chased by Trevor, and Trevor's like, you know, shooting out the window.
The mirrors.
The mirrors. Yeah, the mirrors, the fun mirrors. And then Oliver ends up lighting a blunt and just like goes to the sprinkler system. Yeah. It's like a flag. Please, why can't we just smoke it out?
Yeah, right.
And so turns on the sprinkler system and makes a getaway, and he leads Trevor to the roller coaster ride. Yeah, turns it on, runs up the roller coaster, and kind of.
Well, they have a fight first. They have a fight before he runs up, because his original plan was to push him into the train as it went away. So I'm assuming that he wanted him to like fall into the track to get run over. Or it would have been funny. He pushed him into the car as the roller coaster went, so he just rode the roller coaster where he had time to get away.
Yeah,
that would have been funny, especially a clown riding a roller coaster in the middle of the night with no one around. That's fucking.
And also, if we want to bring another like movie tie-in, I would say this is Final Destination.
Yes,
I think it's like 3 or 4. One of those.
The roller coaster one.
Yeah, the roller coaster. Yeah. So there's another. So anyway,
she probably would have been able to hit that in the head.
Yeah. So he tricks Trevor, rolls out of the way of the roller coaster, gets slammed. Trevor gets like just cemented into the tracks.
But you missed a pivotal point when Trevor was chasing after Oliver as he was climbing up the rail. Oliver kicked him in the face, and the horn on the nose went. And he started bleeding like, you son of a bitch.
Okay, well, you know what? That's a perfect like little cherry on top of that shit sandwich. You know?
Yeah, and then his body got rocked because he was force fed the front end of a roller coaster ride.
Yeah, what like now we've had a couple of more gruesome scenes. Which one did you like better? Did you like the disembowelment better with the chainsaw, or like the roller coaster?
I feel that the chainsaw one was an empowerment play.
Okay.
Which was great. Like it actually played out relatively well because
Female empowerment.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I will
Okay.
say, and not really in a bad way. It wasn't a cliche way for
It
the
was
book.
cliche.
It was cliche for the book,
The whole
but
book is cliche though.
but it was still relatively, it would have been good to play if the book was better. But it was still appropriate for the moment, and
Okay.
it was actually pretty great, especially like how he just the author described him just like on the ground shoveling his guts and like being like looking at her like with rage and all that stuff. Like how dare you best me? These are my orgies. What did you do?
Yeah.
But I
Our
mean,
first merch line, not my orgy.
not my
orgies.
We should get it. We should get it printed out, just like a person with a pig mask, that person with pig mask on the side with like, not my orgies.
Oh, that'd be perfect, yo. We red bubble or bubble tea or whatever the fuck it's called.
Not my orgy.
Not my orgies. I love that idea.
But the
I personally think that the roller coaster was more suspenseful. Like
I like
think
the roller coaster
way
one.
that it was written was more thought out and more fleshed out. And I think that it was just
is that
more...
a pun?
No.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. You should have said yes.
You saw what happened to Trevor? His face was just chilling, like half baked, with the other half still having the paint.
The part that pissed me off though was the blunt part, because first of all, the smoke is not going to be good enough to like set off the fire.
Right, he was still doing the lighter and the smoke as well. He was like double.
No,
he just wanted to smoke
and then blown the smoke into the fire detector. Sure. That's what he should have done.
Could have done that. Yep.
But
I mean the whole idea of why not just keep running?
Yeah.
You know,
but the reason why he did that is because that it went off and then it showed where the emergency exit was because it lights it up throughout the place. Like, you need to follow this path to get to the exit. That's why he did it.
Oh, genius. You're right. I missed it.
Oh, look, John's helping the writer out over here.
I gave it a 3.5. So, I mean, there's still some hope for him.
Yeah, very little.
I
don't know the guy,
very little.
But
still. So at this point, where am I? Oh man. Okay. Oliver runs into the funhouse or roller coaster. All right. Now he receives a call from Jessica. She wants to meet at the hospital. Now that she's learned, Matt is a nurse there. She needs to get more info, I guess. And she needs help unlocking a phone. And Oliver says, "Oh well, I learned because of my cousin Freddie, the techno wizard. They could hack phones. So I can hack phones now too, which is okay."
And he described how to actually access the system menu on Android.
And I'm sure you were just.
And I'm like, he knows how to do it. This is accurate.
Like the BIOS. He knows how to get there.
and then he was able to access the phone after. Like, no. I was happy for a moment. Then the other half were like, I was able to get to the home stream. Like, okay.
Well, at this point, Oliver makes his way out of the amusement park, finds Trevor's car, and sees the daughter and the mom that Trevor was, he had. But at this point, he doesn't really know that they're dead and they've been dead. So he starts bawling his little eyes out. So Envy is now revealed, sort of, not really, that he's been watching everything. He scans over to the amusement park. He scans over to the meatpacking plant, and he's like, shit, they survived.
Contingency time.
So he's like, he overhears them talking, Jessica and Oliver, which I'm kind of not sure how. I guess he's hacked into the phones or stuff.
He's tracking all the GPS.
Yeah, I don't know. And he hears that, they want to unlock Matt's phone. So he's curious about that. But that's kind of it. And that's kind of where it ends off.
Yeah, like nothing else really comes from the phone being unlocked. That made there was no reason for it. The only thing was to access the message from Craig.
Well, no.
From Matthew, like.
No. I think from there they, because that doesn't make sense. You don't even need the phone to find out where he lives. Like, even if you want to.
Yeah, but ID and all that stuff.
That's stupid.
Driver's license.
Yeah. It's another one of those. So next is Jessica is like, okay, I'm gonna go get Tim. So she heads over to the apartment building where Tim lives. And
Where Tim dies, but that's a different story.
yeah, where Tim died. Um, he's obviously, you know, getting carted away. His like family is downstairs, his wife and two kids, and they're crying their little eyes out. And she comes up to them and is like, "Listen, I'm what happened? I'm Tim's assistant." And the wife's like,
Assisting him with something.
Honestly, yeah, at that point, like I understand why Jessica did it because she felt a connection with them, but that is ballsy as hell to go up to now a widow and the two survived children. Like, listen, I'm his assistant. What happened? Where is
And
Tim?
does she not know who Tim's assistant is? I know the people that you work with.
I don't know. They had a weird marriage, right? They had a rocky marriage.
There was an estranged marriage.
I don't know. But also, Jess, you're kind of that's a cunty move. Like you were sleeping with
the wife,
her husband.
But the wife didn't know, and she's gonna live in bliss.
No, she won't, because eventually she's gonna end up talking to people that she works like that he worked with, right? And she's gonna realize
where's this person?
She's gonna realize that that's not his assistant.
Well, again, she might not remember all of it because the details are gonna be funny because she just lost her husband in the most traumatic way. Their home was invaded. There was a fight. There was a gun. There were shots. She almost lost her son and saw her husband.
Are you friends with Miguel?
What?
Are you friends with Miguel?
Are you and Miguel? Did you consult Miguel on this book?
Miguel.
I'm not sponsored by Miguel.
Miguel's like besties. Yeah, check his phone. Go check his phone. Is it unlocked?
Open the BIOS.
Yeah, open that BIOS.
Let me go to the BIOS of the phone real quick to unlock it.
So yeah, Tim's dead. So she heads over to the hospital. Then my note is Roger is at the hospital. His mom is dead.
Roger is at the hospital.
His mom is dead.
His mom is
that really is it. That you don't need to know much more than that.
No, but Jessica goes there because she needs.
Yes. But that's right after this chapter. This little sentence, this like what like
he didn't make it in time.
7-word
sentence. You know that's all it counts.
And that really that summed up that whole chapter.
Yeah. He just got home. He just got there a little too late. Mommy's dead. He's covered in blood and has a briefcase full of cash.
Yes. He
took
took
with that. So we're gonna get to this part, right? But he has a briefcase full of cash. He can start over. He can start over and do better with his life. He could even help with research because he has this briefcase full of cash to help people that died of the same thing.
His mom meant everything to him.
This man launches himself off the top of the hospital.
There were a couple of scenes. I will say there were a couple of scenes where his mom was mentioned a few times of how important she was in his life.
It was repeated.
Yes, but he's in his 40s. But would you then, after all this time, you know, if your mom's is ill and stuff, you've had so much time to kind of process it, right? I don't know, why are you suicidal at this point?
It's because mommy did everything.
Yeah, I don't know what he did. Yeah, I don't know what she did for him. It's more than what was described.
It was all good until she fell
How
ill.
was Roger not sloth? He had nothing going for him in life.
True.
All he did was burglarize. He wasn't actually greedy.
He was a leech. He was the leech.
He wasn't actually greedy.
Yeah.
He literally just broke into people's houses.
Do you think Oliver should have been greedy?
No, I think Oliver.
I mean, okay. Let's be real here. Every single sin is a very thin veil of what they are. It's not strong in any.
Jessica had no reason. Also, you gave this man the ride of his life. He was smiling. He was having a good time. What are you envious about? You could have just paid her again. She would have taken the money.
I couldn't afford it. I'm a sick little crippled boy.
He absolutely can. He sent 10 grand to Roger.
Yeah.
You're bullshit.
I guess he hacked it. I don't even know how he had 10 grand. He just took it from one bank account to another from somebody.
He took it from Timothy. That's how it happened.
Yeah.
Be careful with the whole.
But the big but he's such a big brain because he knew that Roger would kill Timothy. He knew for a fact and would then take the money that Timothy had just, taken for himself, which is weird because
Wait,
it would require it would have required Timothy at that diner with Vines to be like, no, I'm done with you, and I'm gonna go and withdraw all my money and head over to my house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To get to
Wait.
that point.
wait, didn't so we're saying that this is after, but no, Jessica getting the whole nurse get up, that was before this scene.
No,
with,
no, it's not. It's
No,
not
it's
yet.
after.
Is it? Is it? Are you
It
sure?
is.
After Roger gets to the
Yeah.
hospital, that's when this is happening kind of like at the same time.
Yeah.
Roger gets to the hospital and Jessica's there at the same time and she's getting the nurse uniform. It's all happening.
Let me just keep going. Oliver then meets Jess at the hospital. He unlocks Matt's phone and Jess tells him to head over to the address. So she needed the address off the phone. The address was off the phone, which is ridiculous because she had his wallet.
Maybe it was an out of date address. Who knows?
Also,
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? Not the writer, and not me. Certainly not me. I'll tell you what.
It was an Android phone. That literally shouted out
why did they
sponsored Android Google.
why did they just Google his fucking address?
So anyway, so Oliver is tasked to go there. Jessica heads into the hospital to meet a nurse. Her name is something stupid. I can't remember. Jasmine. I don't remember what it was. Jackie. So Jackie was also an ex-hooker that the ex-boyfriend, kind of twisted and turned, and they escaped together from the ex-boyfriend. So Jessica has the dirt on Jackie, and I guess she's basically trying to force Jackie to, hey, listen, I need your ID badge, I need your getup, I need to access the computers at the hospital, I need you to do
Can't
this.
do that. I get fired.
Yeah,
Well,
I'll get fired.
Tell everyone that you're a whore. How dare you here?
Yeah, like the big in my past life I did some unsavory things. I was a stripper. How many nurses or even doctors got their shit through medical school being strippers? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, this is just so I don't know what how Miguel feels about the sex work industry, but I don't think it's very good. Not very progressive of him.
I mean, he really put a lot of effort into Jessica, so maybe he does feel good. Maybe Jessica's actually his lead. Maybe that part of the story is true.
He based that character on somebody he knows. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but he was also like a piece of shit to Jessica because she had no reason to really be involved in this shit.
No.
She wasn't lustful. She wasn't out here just like seeking
Well,
out.
wait a minute. She was lustful. She enjoyed sex.
Lustful. We all enjoy
But wait a minute. What man doesn't enjoy sex too?
That's what I'm saying.
Incels.
If you would
guess.
have if he would have chosen somebody who was lustful, as in like their whole demeanor is that they're trying to break up marriages or that they're just like a piece of shit, right? No, she was just a sex worker.
Yeah.
She was just trying to get paid. That's it.
Yeah.
And she also kind of had a thing for Tim.
Yeah.
But like, who cares?
Yeah. No. Nobody.
She did, and Miguel did.
Yeah. I mean, this nurse also cared for some stupid reason. So, yeah, she gives her the deets and the clothes. So Oliver is now finally at the house, Matt's house. Yeah. He finds Brian's dead body in the basement. He finds Trevor's info. I think like his wallet and shit is in the upstairs where he got changed into the clown outfit. He then calls Jessica, or they talk over the phone for while Jessica's at the PC. There was some shit about her sneaking around and stuff, but that's not very important. Jessica puts two and two together. She's like, Matt was a nurse when Brian and Trevor collided. So basically Brian again was the DUI and Trevor's family got killed because of Brian. And Matt's the nurse. Roger's mom was also a part of the accident, just coincidentally. And then she learns that Roger's mom is also in the hospital, the same hospital, St. Mary's. And then she also learns that there was a kid in a wheelchair that or that basically becomes crippled due to this accident, and
Oliver gets a lump in his throat, like
yeah. He's like, oh no, Jessica, don't say it, Jessica.
What's your last name? I never got to get your last name.
Yeah.
Was it Grant?
Yeah, Grant. And so
And
Oliver
he's like, no, my cousin, he's not this monster. Don't you dare.
Yeah. So it turns out Freddy's the cripple due to this accident. So it's all connected. It's all intertwined.
Roger's connection is so loose. What? Why? How?
No.
Just coincidentally, he was in the accident too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, I got some scrapes. This has nothing to do with me. I don't give a shit."
yeah. Very, very, very weak. Very weak. So at this point, Roger is sulking, and he's confronted by Jessica, who's pretending to be a nurse. And they're kind of having a back and forth, and he's like, "You know what? I'm heading to the roof." So he gets to the roof.
My mom died on the roof. Jessica tried to talk her off talk him off the ledge. Like, I'm gonna go off the ledge, not the way you want. Bye.
Yep, basically.
Where did the money go?
Yeah, I want to know where the hell the money went to.
Where did the money go?
He just left it with the doctor. He's like, "Huh, this is my bonus."
1.4 mil gone.
Ah, fuck. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. So Oliver gets back to the hospital, and they spot Jessica spots and Oliver, whatever. It doesn't even matter. It's the ex-boyfriend. The ex-boyfriend is at the hospital now.
Yeah,
Steven, the ex-boyfriend. He gives Jessica and Oliver. He chases them.
Into the park, like throughout the hospital.
Yeah. He gets on top of Oliver. He's choking him out. Jessica gets the gun, but isn't able to shoot. And so Steven forces them into a car together to drive off into the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, that scene in particular pissed me off because Jessica, at this point, has done so much shit.
Guys,
and the moment that
this scene...
This is the scene that
This is the one. This is the one that kept it from a 4. Remember.
This is the one that kept it from a 4. She could have literally clocked out Steven, but she didn't have the fortitude to do so. She just
That's what pissed you off? Read this whole book. That's what pissed you off?
That's one of the moments that pissed me off because she could have had this moment. And she didn't capture it. She just let it slip.
Yeah.
I hate you.
I mean, I do agree. Like okay, but the book would have been over. Like the whole Freddy thing would have been over, right? Well, I guess not because they could have just went. Yeah, they just would have went straight to Freddy.
Yep. Yeah, and then we could have gotten a whole monologue about why Freddy was envy. Why did all of this happen? Which we got sort of.
Okay, so yeah, so let's just. It's almost done. I swear, guys. Jessica's the driver. Oliver's in the front seat. Steven's in the back seat. Steven's got the gun on both of them. Oliver and Jessica kind of work out a body language plan of what they're gonna do, and they're I guess driving over a bridge.
Take your seatbelts off.
Yeah.
Take your seatbelts off.
Gimme. And so. Can you imagine? And this fucking asshole's in the back with the gun on them.
What the fuck is going on?
So unbelievably, Jessica was so concentrated about driving this car off the bridge, off the side of the bridge into the lake, river, whatever, that she was able to get her seatbelt off, but forgot. And to give the child to turn on the child lock, which doesn't make sense because
the child lock usually engage on the side of the door.
No,
not
some of them are button.
Yeah, but what doesn't make sense is that if the child lock is on, the
back seats are closed, but not the front.
But how would she have also opened the doors because Oliver couldn't open his door?
As soon as you would have went into the water, the doors would have closed. But I'm assuming she was trying to jump out.
Okay,
they have her difficulties opening the doors until the car went in.
Does the child lock only work on the back seats? in
It's
terms of
supposed
like
to. It's
doors.
only supposed to be
Okay.
the back seats, but apparently he was not. They were not able to open up the front passenger and driver's side door when they were running the cars. I'm like, that is not how that works.
Which it's because you just pull it open right in the front.
Like,
Well,
whoop, and then-
didn't she hit something next to her?
no, she almost ran into a vehicle and then veered off.
Oh.
But Oliver was having issues opening the door because it was giving some sort of force, and she wasn't able to open the door too. And then she was like,
because
oh,
it's
shit,
locked. Because it's locked. They're locked. The doors.
And I'm like, wait a minute, you can.
They're
still
supposed to
open
jump.
it.
She screams, jump. She screams, jump.
So
But no.
fucking ridiculous.
The only jump that happened.
So John, not this scene. The one before that. That really got you.
That's what pissed you off.
That scene was more comical. That
Okay.
other scene pissed me off.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. So yeah, they fly down into the river below. The car isn't filling with water yet. Oliver is still awake, but Jessica's out. Stephen is like scrambling for the gun, but he's also a little bit fucked up.
Oh, no, he was initially knocked out. He was like, his head was in the dash and in the windshield, just
I thought
contorted to the side, like
I
looking
thought
towards
he
him.
was dead.
We watched it, like looking toward the side, just like leaning in there, and like, oh shit.
So this is a callback to what I learned from this book. The headrests are used to break windows.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's good information to have.
That actually, I was like, I never thought about that. Yeah, that's why they're detachable, so you can use them as a. So why bother buying that like fucking like hammer kit thing?
Yeah.
No,
I mean,
little edge on it. I mean that because you don't want to
helpful.
the headrest. I don't know. Maybe people are panicking. Like I
Yeah.
can't take the headrest off.
Yeah, because when you're panicking, you're like, oh yeah, I have this little tool. in
I
my
have this little hammer.
It's better for the little tool.
No,
than, like,
yeah,
and you
okay.
not press the clips to take
you
the
know what?
headrest off.
Yeah, but if you're panicking, you're not like, I have this thing that I never.
But
fucking
listen,
use.
if I ever end up going over a bridge into a fucking lake, I will try to remember about the headrest being detachable where I can bust open a window.
This book saved my life.
Yeah.
You don't understand.
You know what? 5 stars. This right here changes my score.
The moment that happens and you use the headrest to break out of the window and survive,
5 stars.
you have to go back on Amazon and put 5 stars. This
Yes.
saved my life.
100%.
Miguel, no
Miguel's-
one needs fries.
Hold me to that. Hold me to that. So Oliver grabs the gun. He uses the headrest to burst Stephen's eyes. Just
Oh yeah,
jab
because he
him.
woke up reaching for the gun. Like he thought he was dead. Nope.
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah. He busts the car windows out, grabs Jessica, and they swim to the top, but she can't breathe. He does a little bit of something. It doesn't really work, and then she comes alive.
Well, it was CPR, but the thing is, first and foremost, he was like, "I'm paying for this," and then ripped her shirt open.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
he started
The innuendos.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like that was literally in the book. Like it was like slightly sexualized. I'm like,
Yeah.
you didn't have to put that in there.
It was something. It was something. So
But she came back to life.
she came back to life, and
Very
then they're
evident.
like, then they're like, okay, we're gonna head over to Oliver's house, and I guess they walk, or do they take a cab? I don't
They
know.
ran.
They ran.
They
They
ran.
raped each other because they weren't just almost murdered or anything.
They ran.
She's not recovering from CPR to the chest and vomiting all over the
She
place.
could have had some
And
broken
then
ribs.
like fucking Forrest.
She took her shoes off and
Now
ran.
they're just Forrest Gumping it to fucking Freddy's house.
God, this is so terrible. Okay, so anyway, they notice that the parents aren't around. Freddy's
Lights
parents.
are out. All
Yeah.
that stuff.
Lights are out. It's dark.
They just see one mysterious glow.
Yeah. So they go in.
So atmospheric. I was like, oh, okay, we're walking into Freddy's room. Cool.
Yeah. So they walk in. It's all those monitors. Freddy's typing out all his things. He's like, he's envious. That's why he's envy.
Yeah, like they
envy.
burst in and they saw him in the wheelchair and he was like, the revelation. It's Freddy.
Why? Why'd you
Why?
do this?
Oliver
We're
puts
blood.
the gun at him. Why? Why
Well,
this?
your
It's
own
because
blood.
I'm a jealous asshole. That's why.
Yeah.
Literally the whole thing is because he's a jealous asshole.
But
And because they're living out better lives than him. Meanwhile, one of the fucking characters is just a drunk who's living his life as like just a piece of shit drunk all the time.
yeah,
And you're over here complaining about the sins that they've done and that you don't get to live like that.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you're just typing away. You could have a shit ton of fucking money. You could be a programmer if you really want
You
to.
could have been Stephen Hawking.
Like you have all of this access. Yes, you have these severe like health issues.
not only
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Okay, but be serious, guys. How many people would pay for a high class escort? You know, like to give away to like their crippled cousin.
Not that many.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
And he got that. He got that. He and Jessica boinked, and it was great. But it wasn't his choice. So what does he say? He was raped.
No, I don't think so. I think he enjoyed it, and he just wanted more. The moment that he got laid is the moment that it was a turning point for him.
I don't.
So what you're saying is that you're trying to tell me that this is Jessica's fault for helping the cripple. Is that what you're really trying to tell me
Now,
right now?
whoever arranged for him to get laid.
Oh, it was his cousin. It was his cousin Oliver.
Oliver
was the event. He wanted to do something good for his cousin, and that turned him into this hellspawn where
Yes.
he decided to have a rampage.
Yes, that's exactly what happened.
I just want to say that Oliver was the best character.
Okay.
I know a lot of people would say it would be Jessica, but Jessica was just like following the plot. She wasn't really doing anything all that interesting. Oliver shoved this clown into a train. That's hilarious. Oliver.
that was hilarious. he pointed the clown's nose, and the guy, he literally ran a train on Trevor.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. I will give you that chapter.
Oliver found the context to how Trevor and Brian were intermingled in the house. He tasted the cannibal stew. You know, like Oliver was actually doing some shit while Jessica was just like, oh, you know, I'm going to end up at the hospital. I'm going to search for this thing. And for some reason, everything just worked out for Jessica. Meanwhile, Oliver almost got shot.
He's in the dirt. He's in the dirt.
Okay. So like both. Well, going back to Jackie and Jessica, they both decided to escape to the same city, but live completely separate lives. I don't know. It's just
you wanted
weird.
to help people.
I would no, but if I was trying to get away from my pimp, all right, let's just say I probably with my friend, I probably would not stay near each other at all.
Yeah, because as soon as I search for one, I can find the other.
Yeah, like
maybe that's what his business was in the first place. He was finding Jackie. But Jessica just happened to come into play, and they're like, "This just sweeten the pot."
Yeah, I don't.
He ended up in the hospital for some unknown reason.
I think the business.
Envy was telling him where to go.
Yeah, but okay. So anyway, at this point, Envy's all envious and basically says everyone involved were sinners. Yeah, Wrath was horrible. Yeah, the Jeffrey Dahmer was horrible. You know. So Oliver has the gun. He's being pushed to kill Freddy. Like Freddy's kind of like provoking it.
They're like, do it.
Yeah, do it kind of thing. But he
like,
doesn't want to.
Do it.
Yeah, he wants to, but Jessica kind of steps in the way, and then he decides he doesn't want to. But they realize that the room is filled with oxygen tanks. It's filled to the brim with oxygen tanks, and that any spark would blow up the room, or the house in this case. Jessica says, listen, let's just leave. The cops will deal with him. You know, we got the evidence. I mean, he recorded it all the blackmail or whatever. As they're leaving, Freddy is erasing the computer.
Yeah, he's like, delete all.
Delete all.
Oliver was like, no!
And it speaks. The computer speaks. When you delete a file, when the fuck does the computer ask you, are you sure you want to delete this whole file? When?
It does ask you, delete a file. Like, are you sure you want to put this in the recycling bin? Yes. Moved it from there to the recycling bin.
Oh, I guess it can read it if you have that. If you have, but he's not like blind, or there's no reason.
There's no reason for it. He's like, and then Oliver's like, no. Like,
yeah, he jumps for it.
Power cable, yoinks that with the spark, and then boom. Jessica gets her fucking fake titties blown out to the ether.
Yeah.
And she's the only one that survived.
Well, what about all the text messages?
They're still on the phones.
all the like, well, everything that happened. Like, I mean, there are people dead. Like, and there's
what happened?
messages that link them.
You know what happened? Freddie used NordVPN.
Yeah,
Not
that's what he
sponsored. Not sponsored.
Not sponsored. Hashtag not a sponsor. So
But if you want to,
yeah, if you want
But
to.
if you want to.
So basically, the room blows up. Jessica wakes up in the hospital. She's free, but she's all burnt up. She's no
You're
longer
like, so much for my, my bikini channel.
bikini. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love this shit. No, wait.
exactly what women would be worried
That's what she
about.
said.
Wait. John, I really love some of the key specific phrases you picked out of this book. It's just very funny to me.
No, there's a key phrase that's in the.
This man, all he does is just store memes in his brain 24/7.
But no, there is one key phrase that was in this book that I love to death, and here it is: "Lady, just the fuck shut up and leave."
Okay.
That
That's a
was a
good one.
typo. That was
Sure.
a typo in the book.
Lady, just
it was the whole.
That's the one that Tiffany said.
Okay.
You can smell the
Oh.
other side of the street. It was when he was when Oliver was talking with the nosy neighbor. He was like, "Lady, just the fuck shut up and leave."
You know what? Maybe Miguel. It's not his first. English is not his first language.
Well, let's not bring it to that level.
I don't know. Google Translate could have written this.
Shit. It was ChatGPT. That's what it was.
No, this was 2020. This was before ChatGPT. So, and I don't think
he had early access to it.
And I'm gonna say I don't think it would have made that mistake. I doubt it would have done that. But where's an editor? Like, well, who published this book?
He was self-published,
sure
I think.
It was self-published.
Oh, okay.
He was like, "Send it. It's good.
Send it.
I know. I'm Miguel."
So yeah, Jessica wakes up. She learns that Oliver and Freddie have died. The cops don't tie her into anything. They're just like, "Why were you there?" And she's like, "Oh, we're just friends." So yeah, all the news reports go about, the cannibal's dead. This guy. Well, I don't even know if they talk about him being a cannibal, but that this guy's dead. This guy's dead. This guy's dead. Everybody's dead. And she's just like, "Oh, I guess I have a new lease on life." I'm hopeful. I have hope. So that kind of wraps it up, guys. This novel, if you can call it that, is not impressive to say the least. It was weakly written. The characters were shallow. There was not enough really to be memorable. I will definitely delete this from my brain. but before I do, I'll have it ask myself, are you sure you want to delete everything?
Yes.
Yeah, it wasn't good. It wasn't good.
I'll keep my rating at 3.5 just because, like I said, it had the potential. It did have some interesting points into it as well. But I still had a level of enjoyment, and a lot of the references is what made it a bit more enjoyable and a bit more bearable to read. As you said, I store memes in my brain, so
okay.
Your rating is entirely based on meme references.
I will.
Your rating is 3.5 for meme references.
Okay. I will say, talking about the book has been fun.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Hilarious.
So you got to give it at least that.
Mm-hmm.
To its credit.
That's 1 star. That it's so bad it's comical.
But I don't recommend anybody pay this guy.
It was free. It was $3.
It was free for me. If you have Prime, I think.
It was number 800 on the rating list for free books on Amazon. So
hell yeah, really bottom of the barrel.
No, there's a bigger barrel in that. The bottom just does not stop. But I don't know how. Yeah, we're gonna try to think of a better book to do, like something more highly rated, something we could all maybe hopefully give a 4 to 5 star. Right now we have 2 in mind, right? We have The Witch's Daughter, and we have this anthology, which is I think it's a horror still, and it's Native American.
Yeah, all of the authors are native, and I believe even some of the stories are like native myth horrors.
Okay.
Is that how we start? That's how we're starting off November.
Yeah. Why?
No reason at all.
Well, it's a dark anthology written by native people,
No,
and like,
I understand that.
and then the other one we were looking at was a colonial witch's daughter kind of thing. What is that face?
No reason. That'll be off camera.
Okay, well, it's
In the After Dark.
no. You could subscribe to our Patreon where you can get the next half hour of for $3 a month. You know,
The after show.
The after show, exactly. The afterglow of our show. So yeah, I'm definitely not changing my rating. I mean, though, I could give it a 1. I mean, honestly. But no, there were some fun aspects to it. The pop culture thing, okay? It was kind of fun just doing do you see the little blue buggy and the red buggy and you know what I mean? Like trying to spot all the buggies.
Oh.
Yeah.
Old meme.
So that was kind of fun. I mean, and I don't mind derivative work. You know what I mean? Like if you're pulling and all art is derivative, right?
Yeah.
So sure, why not? But yeah, I just don't think it was that cohesively written. That it was like, again, the veil of the sins is stupid. Freddy's need to do this was stupid. I know that the car wrecked him, and he was like on the kind of the same path as Wrath, I guess. But I don't know. He, like you were saying, Winona, he had a lot of great opportunity. He was a smart kid. He could have been a Stephen Hawking type, and some of the other characters like Roger killing himself like that, it's just
Also,
yeah.
my issue was that like Freddy, you don't get to take the moral high ground when you just created all of these plot lines for you to cause these people's deaths.
Yeah.
When he's like, "Oh, well, you guys are sinners."
And I will say the one thing also, it wasn't as good as a Saw movie.
No.
Like connecting it all together and kind of like, being like, oh, he was the killer all along, or this is how he got everybody to do what,
Yeah, it was giving away like a little bit like at halfway.
Yeah, and like at least with the Saw movies, there's like he's already kidnapped them, and they're in a playhouse for him to fuck with in any way that he seems fit. He is the god of whatever is happening to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But in this, it's like very weak blackmail.
Blackmail that no one should even give into.
Yeah.
Just call the police.
Just call the police. Also, Pride, if you have all of this money, why don't you just like you can literally just cross hack him. You know what I mean? Like that's literally, that is a thing in our government systems where like there are people that will hack the hackers.
It's counter.
It's
countering. It's counter, or like black hat, white hat, stuff like that.
Like that's a thing. And if he has all of this money, also you're a CEO and you only got $2 million in the bank.
Those are savings.
Okay, what?
That is a little weird.
Hold on. One more thing. If you are getting blackmailed and all of that, why don't you also hire a security force? Just
because you only have $2.2 million apparently.
And like you can at least keep your family safe, if not yourself, right?
My reputation, though.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just so stupid. It's just so stupid. There's a lot to to criticize about this book.
Also, Jessica's entire blackmail is that her boyfriend might find her, but just call the police.
Yeah, call the police.
And they're like, I'm sure you could be like, oh well, she's a prostitute. Why would she want to call the police? I don't know, because it's still domestic violence. You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, if it's a boyfriend girlfriend, it wouldn't be considered domestic.
In some states.
That's what I said. Depending on.
Well, this state is nondescript, so.
Yeah.
Probably Nevada.
Probably. Let's just go with that.
I mean, by Las Vegas, maybe it's Sin City, right? Oh shit.
Or it's Los Santos.
Yeah. Yeah. It could have been like a San Diego type of area, right?
It would have been
or Los Angeles.
What do they name the Las Vegas portion and GTA? The older one in San Andreas.
I don't
Because it
know.
was Los Santos. What was it? Yeah, Los Santos was Los Angeles.
Is this important to the plot?
Was it San Fierro, which is the San Francisco one? Which one was the Las Vegas one?
I could Google it. Give me a second.
I don't think it's important to the context of the plot, but
I mean, there are GTA references. The whole Trevor meth house thing, that was a direct rip from the game. No, like no joke, a direct rip.
I don't know. Tweet Miguel, let him know.
Which San Andreas, right?
Yeah, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
And map, I guess, right?
Yeah, or just the three city.
Here, let me try to present this because this is very important. Here, guys. Here, let's present the map here. Okay, San Andreas maps. Let's see, Map Genie. Oh my God. Can I?
Let's scroll in because it's just around that county. There you go. Las Venturas. There you go.
Las Venturas, guys. This was all taking place in Las Venturas. it was all GTA all along.
All GTA all along.
This was super important, guys. I wanted you to see this because
I wanted you to see this.
Look at this. Wow. But yeah, but that's basically it. So if you like more of our content, great. Subscribe, click the bell icon, like, comment, please. If you read this book, what did you think? Because it's ridiculous. This book is ridiculous and it's funny, and I hope you guys have the same kind of funny conversations with your friends. You know, if you have recommendations on books to read, definitely open to that. And like I said, nothing's in stone in terms of like the next 2 books that we're reading, but you know, most likely those are the idea. So, and we might do live streams in the future, you know, of this. So if anybody ever comes in, although it could be like an 8-hour live stream if we did do that. You know, so we'll see how that you know, we should do some funny videos and stuff, like, you know, like the coffee taste test or tea thing or whatever, you know, and maybe that will be live streamed.
Very moist critical or stuff like that.
So we're thinking about like doing a tea taste test and a coffee taste test, and then comparing them to book genres.
Yeah, like a bookworm thing, like something to tie into books, you know.
So I would read this horror novel with this tea.
Yes.
Or this taste is very I don't know.
Vampire romance.
This coffee feels like J.K. Rowling for sure.
There you go. That exactly. So we're thinking about that kind of stuff, and there are more ideas down the line. So
as the channel grows, we'll do these features.
Yeah. So do you guys want to plug anything? This is your shot.
Got nothing to plug.
I have no plug. Just remember, next time you go to any sort of theme park, approach your clown, thank them for their service.
Yes.
Or kick him in the nose. That's the other option.
Or kick him in the nose. And ask him if they ever had a train ran on them before.
Don't ask them that.
we may one day make the pig shirt though.
Not my orgies.
Not my orgies.
I have it written down. Not my orgies.
Not my orgies. Pig. It's got to be the pig too. Yo, I want to make that shirt so bad now. I want it.
We're in episode 2 and we're already trying to make merch.
Yeah. Well, because if it's funny, it works. All right, guys. This is Caged by the Page signing off. Bye.
Bye.